97.1 News Time, 5:18. It's 76 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. A staff member for Illinois Republican U.S. Representative Rodney Davis was arrested at a campaign event for Davis's opponent. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night. They host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. 97.1 News Time, 5:19.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Already some rain falling this morning, and it is heavy in some areas. Raining on the hill, raining along eastbound and westbound 6440, but it's moving to the east. So we have wet roadways. Leave a little early. That's never a bad idea on a day like today. Today is the day that crews will close all lanes of 44 in both directions between Hampton and Vanaventer. That is starting at 8 o'clock tonight. They're doing some work on a pedestrian bridge. In fact, they're taking it down to rebuild it. So if you're headed to the game tonight, you want to take 6440. Just bear that in mind. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 5:19.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
Victory Men's Health is all about you being you again. You may need testosterone replacement therapy. If you're going to have your hormones treated, make sure you're seeing a specialist. This is not a one-size-fits-all treatment. Make sure you have options. Victory offers several different therapies for testosterone replacement, such as bioidentical pellets, injections, and gels. Plus, they have the newest treatment for ED. It's wave therapy, pain-free, and hundreds of their patients have been treated successfully. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Do one thing to protect the environment. Here's Kenny Chesney with his one thing.
For a lot of years, I've been a part of rebuilding man-made coral reefs, and we've been doing that for the last several years. We made a concrete reef in the St. Johns River in Jacksonville, Florida, and there's a few more that we're going to do. And so that's something that I'm very passionate about, that I think is important, because slowly but surely these natural reefs are getting beat up, and they're the lifeline to marine life.
It all starts with just one thing. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
The news and information.
Blue wave, red wave.
Views and conversation.
Those are the issues we will debate.
We're your voice.
This is the time to listen.
FM News Talk.
Through to November.
Be listening. 97.1. Younger, smarter, better.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Marc Cox. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
So I guess I'm a little remiss in not mentioning that Aretha Franklin died yesterday. She was 76 years old. Let's pot it back up there for me, Zach. Hold on, can you hear?
The best. Seriously.
You get where I'm going here? Fox News is in trouble because yesterday Aretha Franklin died, right? And they built a graphic that showed Aretha Franklin's face. But they always try to get fancy in these graphics. So they had another photo in the background, and somebody looked at it really close and realized it was Patti LaBelle, which is who you're listening to right here, and not Aretha Franklin.
Yep.
And I guess their suggestion is Fox News didn't know the difference between these two black women, which is just silly. Really, that's okay. I'm done with this song. I was done with it in the 80s. But anyway... The big story on Huffington Post and all this morning, all the liberal media outlets is Fox News didn't know who Aretha Franklin was. Well, the picture on the front of the graphic is very obviously Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
And not a very flattering picture of Aretha Franklin.
No, they didn't pick a good one.
You know, when I kick off one of these days, I want one of those early publicity photos they took at News 4. You know, back when you're in your prime, you don't have the double chin yet, you don't have the gray hair, you look good, right? They actually did the good. They do the good Larry Connors lighting where they light you from the bottom up. I always wanted some of that, and they never do it for me.
Okay, that made me laugh out loud.
She's like, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
So they didn't. I mean, it's not a flattering picture of Aretha to begin with, but somebody managed to look at the graphic in the background and realize that some graphic artist built this for Fox. They went searching for a photo, another photo of Aretha Franklin, and what popped up is a photo that was taken at the White House for a PBS special that was done during the Obama administration that included both Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin. That was the credit on the photo. So they used the photo without bothering to look and check and see that the black woman in that photo was not the same black woman who just died. So but to suggest that there was some ill will or ignorance on their part, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, I don't believe that, but at the same time, it's just like, why use a photo at all with anyone else in it? This is about Aretha.
Thank you.
Right.
So how about we just go with an Aretha picture, not with anybody else? There's lots of pictures to choose from.
Exactly,
Why that one?
yes.
Oh, no. This is the best part. The flub was made all the more ironic by the fact that Franklin and LaBelle reportedly had a long-standing feud that only ended Thursday morning when the 76-year-old legendary diva passed away.
Wow.
So it's Fox's fault for stirring that up on her deathbed.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but definitely mistakes made in the picture selection.
We sincerely apologize to Aretha's family and friends. The image of Miss Franklin was obscured. See, they're claiming that the image of Miss Franklin was obscured in the back, like behind the picture in the front of her.
I mean, maybe, I don't know how TV works necessarily.
Anyway.
Maybe did the graphic in one way, like you could see both pictures of Aretha, and then when it got translated into TV, she was hidden.
I doubt it. You see,
this sort of thing happens in TV, does it not, Mark?
Sue will laugh at me in a minute. So here's what happens and it's not just in television. Unfortunately, it's more visual in television because it's an important role. But television news has they bring in people who are interns, fresh out of college. They put them on the web desk, right?
Yep.
And oftentimes they're the people tasked with more menial jobs like helping build graphics and things like that to get them ready for air.
That's right.
Well, I mean, God bless young people. I was young once, but they're not always the most experienced people in the world. And
maybe that person didn't know who Aretha Franklin was.
I would constantly cover stories as a journalist at News 4, and somebody on the web would take my story and adapt it for the web page, and I'd go back and find, either glaring errors or things that had just simply been left out that were unacceptable. So we finally had to get to the point where we had to post our own things to the web just to avoid that problem.
It is true, but I totally agree with Denise in this situation. This is a major American icon.
Right.
Let's get it right.
Yeah. And at some point, you're just like, how about I just use Aretha?
So what you're suggesting here, Sue, is that if that was Ronald Reagan's face on the front and they had posted a picture of Al Gore in the background, I would be equally peed off. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that.
Yes.
I'll accept that. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Now we got to play some more Aretha Franklin here. So that was her singing the national anthem, by the way, in case you didn't notice. There's a bit longer version of that than we normally play, but it was Aretha Franklin. So anyway, she lived a long time with pancreatic cancer. Mm-hmm. She was diagnosed in I think 2011. Did I read?
Wow.
I mean, a long, long time. So that's tough. Anyway, thought I'd have a little fun with that, even though fun probably isn't the thing to do. I just can't believe it got so blown out of proportion and with suggestions that it was intentional. It was a mistake.
It was a mistake, yeah.
The other thing that gets me that most people probably don't notice because I was in television for so long. Everything's computerized now. They have a system in the newsroom called Ignite. And Sue, I don't know if you remember this or not, but the Ignite system for television now, everything is basically, it's all loaded in ahead of time with code, almost like programming something. And then once the show starts, it runs. You can put it in manual mode, but it's unless they've improved on it since I left, it's a bit of a pain. My rear end got ignited more than once. Let's just put it that way. Because the face would come up, but the sound wouldn't come up, or the sound would come up, but the face wouldn't come up. And forever, they spell things wrong on fonts. They misspell words, or they leave a letter out, and nobody notices. And then once it's on air, there's nothing they can do about it. So just little things like that, little pet peeve things like that.
As I said so.
What's Sue talking about? I don't think she knows her mic was up. You better pot her down there. That could be dangerous. She was singing. Sue Thomas was singing in there. Now she's getting her traffic ready. All right. Coming up, you've watched the daily assaults on the president. Guess what? He's about to solve NAFTA. He's got an agreement in principle with Mexico. Just got to get the Canadians on board. One more win for the administration. But what are they talking about? He stripped John Brennan of his security clearance. What did Omarosa say today on the other left-wing network in America? None of that is important. It's background noise, right? It's just background noise. I talked to the president's son, Eric Trump, about that story and many others and what his dad has gotten accomplished so far in office. So you're going to hear from him coming up. Then we'll get to your phone calls at 314-241-9797.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
From the Fox Business Network, Nordstrom's business turned around this summer, helped by internet sales. Nordstrom recently hired a new chief technology officer. Its sales and earnings were stronger than expected. Chipotle Mexican Grill will be retraining all its restaurant workers nationwide. Tests indicated its food contamination incident in Ohio this summer was caused by food being left at an unsafe temperature. The FDA has approved a generic version of the EpiPen made by Teva Pharmaceuticals. The device is used to reverse life-threatening allergic reactions. Mylan, which sells the EpiPen, also markets its own generic version of the device. Stocks rallied on Thursday. The Dow Jones Industrials added 396. The Nasdaq was up 32 and the S&P gained 22. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Fox Business, brought to you by Fisher Window and Door Store, your dealer for Marvin Windows and Doors in the St. Louis region. FisherWindow.com. Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Watch the Marc Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Here are a few quick divorce tips we provide our clients. Sometimes email is the best way to communicate with your wife during the divorce. It's efficient, it creates a record, and it avoids ugly scenes. On the other hand, because you're on the record, your comments must be tactful and reasonable. Assume your emails will be exhibits at trial. Remember, your goal throughout the process is to project an image of common sense and good faith. The judge should understand that your wife is the source of this needless litigation. You're the good guy, the voice of reason. A related point, be cooperative where you can. Show flexibility regarding non-essential issues. Judges notice this. Besides, save your attorney fees for what's important.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's St. Louis area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Offices in Chesterfield, St. Charles, Arnold, Edwardsville, and Belleville.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Cordell & Cordell, 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
Members of the church.
There's a lot of corruption.
Marissa, what happened?
I'm going to blow the whistle on all of it.
Child sex abuse.
In the U.S. Catholic Church.
You shall know the truth.
Secrets out now.
Stay connected.
Paul Manafort has been charged with conspiracy.
FM News Talk 97.1.
I believe the government has failed to meet their burden of proof.
We believe the jury will find him guilty.
Younger, smarter.
The Queen of Soul.
Aretha.
Better. Marc Cox. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Look, the simple point is all this comes down to this. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. We have not reached greatness. We will reach greatness when every American is fully engaged.
The governor of New York. America was never that great to begin with. No kidding. This guy is the governor of the highest taxed state in the U.S., as President Trump so correctly pointed out this morning. We have a special guest this hour. He is Eric Trump. He is, of course, the president's son, at Eric Trump on Twitter. Eric, thanks for joining us today.
Mark, it's great to be on with you.
You know what? I know that you and your dad and your brother, you guys all live up there in New York. How in the world did Andrew Cuomo get elected to be governor of your state?
Listen, it makes no sense to me, and I kind of went after him yesterday a little bit. I mean, you know, here we are, the country that put a man on the moon, 12 actually, be exact. You know, we had the greatest generation storm the beaches of Normandy. You know, we had all the pride after 9/11. I mean, we're the greatest country in the world. We beat Nazi Germany. We beat the Japanese after Pearl Harbor. And what, America has never been great? Is that really what he wants to go with? I thought it was a disgusting comment. I thought it was a stupid comment. You know, I thought he was pandering. And, you know, these are our politicians, Mark. I mean, these are our politicians. I think it's the exact reason my father got in there and ran. But, I mean, these people will say anything and do anything. I mean, this is, you know, these are the people we have running this country.
Well, it's frightening when you see polls like the one that Gallup had out that, you know, a large percentage of Democrats are okay with socialism. Bernie Sanders pointing out that socialism's spreading all over the country. These are clearly people who don't understand what drives the American economy. Your dad's been able to get in office, you know, institute some regulations and taxes, and we see what's going on with the economy. It's great.
Well, this, and I'll get to the economy in a second, but, the amazing thing about socialism, just look at Venezuela. I mean, in front of our eyes every single day, you see a company that is literally, a country that is literally crumbling. I mean, crumbling, massive inflation, no purchasing power of their money. I mean, people starving in the streets, people that can't feed themselves, civil unrest. I mean, you see what socialism has caused. I mean, it's really terrible, right? Versus where we are right now, right? We have 4.1% GDP growth, which is the greatest in history. We've added $4 trillion to the nation's economy. The stock market is up, 30% since election day. People's 401ks are going absolutely through the roof. We've got the lowest unemployment in the history of this country, 3.9% unemployment. Lowest African American unemployment, lowest Hispanic unemployment, lowest, female unemployment. I mean, this country is surging again. We haven't had a pay increase in 16 years in this country until this year. Wages are up 3.1% this year. I mean, this country is doing unbelievably well from every economic, measure. And, what do the Democrats want to talk about right now? They want to talk about raising taxes, which makes no sense, including somebody in your very own state. They want to talk about raising taxes. They want to talk about abolishing ICE, and an constant war on law enforcement, which makes no sense to me. These are the brave men and women that protect our cities and streets and our country. I mean, what's their message right now?
Well, they clearly are struggling to find that. They seem to think it's anything against the president, it strikes me. And the sad thing about this, and I had an opportunity to have your wife on the program a couple weeks ago. We really enjoyed talking to her. Is this call by people like Chris Cuomo who want to apologize for these leftists who are confronting people in restaurants and on the street and screaming at them? And I know your family's been subjected to this simply because they disagree with you over politics, and they think that's okay.
And I think it's going to backfire, and I mean that, Mark. I mean, I see these videos where you have some Antifa member or some, crazy leftist. They have a bullhorn, in their hand, and they're shouting in the ear of a police officer who's just sitting there trying to maintain, peace and civility. And it's a terrible look. It's a horrible action, and it's a terrible look. And America is not behind that. I mean, they are just not behind that. I mean, what do Americans care about? What do we care about? We want the strongest military in the world. We want the best educational system in the world. Right now, America has been ranked, 30th in the world in terms of education. That's being fixed quickly, but it needs to be fixed. We need to take care of our vets. We have to have unbelievable jobs. We have to manufacture again. I talk about this point a lot, but, between 2001 and 2016, this always baffles my mind. We lost 70,000 factories in this country. I mean, think about that number. 70,000 factories in America disappeared between 2001, when Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, and 2016. That is staggering. It is horrible. And on the campaign trail, Mark, I'd be going around to all these little small towns and, various places, and you'd see an entire town built around a factory. And that factory, the windows are boarded up, the lights are turned off. There's no parking lot, meaning no one in the parking lot. The parking lots were typically fenced off. And you're sitting there saying, our politicians allow our industry to escape our country. We're the best manufacturers in the world, and every single one of those jobs went to Mexico. They went to China. It's the reason we have an $800 billion trade deficit every year. And it has to stop, and it is stopping. I mean, the amount he's accomplished, the amount my father has accomplished in the last 20 months is unbelievable.
Eric Trump is our guest. One final point here. I pointed out to somebody the other day, the biggest difference is here, I see your father doing things that politicians wouldn't do because all they do is wet their finger and stick it in the air to see which way the wind's blowing. Your dad's gone in and attacked this from a business perspective, and it's working. And the people of America are taking notice because they're going to vote their pocketbook, Eric.
Yeah. No, I think that's right, and that's because politicians are, politicians, right? I mean, he was never a politician; he was a business guy. In fact, I don't know if he ever liked politicians. And he went in there with that kind of results-driven. Listen, let's go in there. Let's actually get to work. Let's make some tough choices. Hey, maybe we won't always be perfectly politically correct. That's fine. I think America is probably a little bit sick of that anyway. and let's work and actually achieve results. And he's done that. Again, you look at people's 401ks. I have people, Mark, come up to me all the time. I'll be walking down the street. They'll say, Eric, please tell your dad thank you. Thank you for, I just opened my 401k. It's the first time I've done it in the last 6 months. And it's up by 30%. I owe that to him. It means I actually have a chance of retiring a little bit earlier now, and I hear this stuff all the time. I mean, every single day. And it's, the man's done an incredible job. I mean, I've also heard from, I can't tell you how many people who say, listen, I was having a real tough problem getting a job, and now, I have a lot of opportunities because, again, unemployment's at, 3.9% in this country. And, that tide lifts all boats. And, he's done an unbelievable job for this country, and I'm very proud of him.
Well, I mean, I noticed that one of the things that he talks about is the fact that the mainstream media in this country has in many ways become a political action committee for the left. Not all of them, but enough of them that it's worth pointing out. I'm glad to see him address that because it's sort of been the elephant in the room. I heard him say the other day on trade, I've looked at these past presidents. I don't know if it's that they didn't care or they just weren't paying any attention, but they've left us in some of the worst trade deals that you can imagine, and they just didn't do anything about it.
I think they didn't care. I think they didn't get it. I don't think they truly understood the problem, and I mean that sincerely. I mean, how can you allow $800 billion to escape our country every single year? I mean, $800 billion to escape our country every single year in the reverse direction. We're building here in New York State, right? We're building one of the biggest bridges, probably built in the country. It's called the Tappan Zee Bridge. The bridge cost $4 billion to build, and we let $800 billion escape our country in bad trade deals. It doesn't make sense. I mean, even you look at NATO, when my father was fighting a couple of weeks ago, America pays 4.2% of all NATO funding. Germany comes out, right now they pay 1.1%. Germany comes out and say it is our greatest hope that by 2025, we can get to 1.5% GDP funding. My father's saying, oh, wait, say that again. America, off of a much larger denominator, meaning we have a much larger GDP and economy, pays 4.2%. And you're saying it's your greatest hope that by 2025 you can get to 1.5%? Are you kidding me? And by the way, who's closer to Russia? Right? Yeah, who's closer to? It's insane. And how this has never been addressed before is asinine. I mean, when we trade with China, you know this better than anybody, Mark. We send product over there, and it gets taxed anywhere between 20 and 50%, if they'll even allow that given product in their country.
Right.
Yet they send it over to us, and we don't tax them anything. So our companies cannot compete when they send product overseas because they're taxed, but their same product isn't taxed coming into our country. So, these are the stupid deals that our politicians have negotiated over the years, and it's it's horrible.
Well, I'm happy that you're pointing it out and that your dad continues to point it out. Eric Trump, thank you so much for your time. At Eric Trump on Twitter. Hope to have you on again soon.
Mark, thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Thank you very much. I pointed out, and we're going to get to a break here, like on that the NATO funding. We've effectively enabled those countries by overpaying our portion of it and not forcing them to pay theirs. They've been able to spend their money on all their social programs and letting people retire early and all that stuff. And now when it's time for us to put the little heat to them, we'll try to ramp that up over the next couple of years. They've spent it somewhere else. That's what they've been doing. We've enabled that.
.97.1 News Time, 6:47. It's 75 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt two suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. MoDOT officials will close all lanes of I-44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandeventer this weekend to tear down a pedestrian bridge. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night. They host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. This report brought to you by Resort Release. Got a timeshare contract you want out of permanently? Call now to legally exit your timeshare. 800-895-6516. 800-895-6516. 97.1 News Time, 5:47. It's 75 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
We've had rain throughout the area this morning. It's moving off to the east. We're left, of course, with some wet roadways, so leave it just a few minutes early. Not a bad idea. We have an accident eastbound 6440. It's approaching 270. It was blocking the two right lanes. Looks like only the right lane is blocked now. Things are looking better through there. Light volume at this hour. Little bit, though, is southbound 55 at the 270 merge as well, just where we're getting some rain. Take it easy this morning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 5:48.
This hour brought to you by Lance Drury Law. IRS problems? Call local attorney Lance Drury for legal help. 314-260-6120 or go to lancedrurylaw.com.
Who needs age spots, wrinkles, or bags under the eyes? Get a more natural, youthful look at Ridenour Plastic Surgery. 314-878-8600 or RidenourPlasticSurgery.com. Age beautifully with Ridenour, 878-8600.
Do you remember me?
Sure. You and your husband were moving to another home.
This is where we moved to.
It's beautiful.
Please, look at all the junk they left behind.
Point to what you would like to disappear, ma'am.
Well, let's start with that broken bird bath. That old swing set. And that nasty old yard furniture.
When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point.
And those broken tree limbs.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Summer is coming to an end, and again, you have put off getting your home's foundation problems fixed. What are you waiting on? Call the experts at Midwest Basement Tech now for a free basement or crawl space evaluation for your home. Foundation problems do not correct themselves, and left untreated become more costly to repair and increases your home's value. Remember, this is your biggest asset. Isn't it worth protecting? You can reach us at 800-848-9805 to schedule your free evaluation, as we have technicians on both sides of the river for your convenience. Whether it's leaking, cracking, or sinking, do it correct with Midwest Basement Tech. We have been solving foundation problems for 40 years in the St. Louis metro area and guarantee our work. To help protect your home from flooding, we are offering for your protection a $79 sump pump service check. Don't wait until it's raining to find out your sump pump is not working. Did you realize when your home was built, your sump pump was the key element in keeping your basement dry? Call now to schedule 800-848-9805 or visit us on the web at MidwestBasementTech.com.
The Annie Fry Show.
Remember Brett Kavanaugh? We're anticipating a confirmation vote soon, so how's that going? We'll get an update Friday. Plus, Tim Jones weighs in on Trump's war on the press.
Annie Fry, weekdays noon to 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
This hour brought to you by Lance Drury Law. IRS problems? Call local attorney Lance Drury for legal help. 314-260-6120 or go to lancedrurylaw.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
By far, the single biggest event, be it political or otherwise, this year is an economic boom that most people thought would be impossible.
Wow. Larry Kudlow pointing that out yesterday. Remember what they were saying, what Hillary and Obama were going around saying in 2016 before the election? If Donald Trump wins, it will be an economic disaster. It will plunge us into recession. Which, like most things that come out of the mouths of Democratic politicians these days, was complete fabrication. Seriously, this is a group of people in the Democratic Party, the leaders of the Democratic Party, who don't even have a single one of their 2 feet based in reality. Neither one. They're outside of the circle now. They really are. They have no idea what it takes to create an economy. Or here's the worst possibility. They have exactly an idea of what it takes to have a better economy, but they're not willing to do it because they don't want people to become less dependent on the federal government. I'm amazed at how few people understand that. We could do better, but if we do that, we're going to have fewer people on welfare and fewer people dependent on the handouts of the federal government to return votes to us. Democrats are all about bigger government. That's why they're so concerned about this Convention of States. Now, since I did the interview the other day with the gentleman from Convention of States, I've gotten several impassioned pleas from people who tell me I just don't understand and that Phyllis Schlafly was opposed to reopening the Constitutional Convention because of all the problems that could come along with it. And I'm willing to entertain that possibility. But the point is, nothing scares the establishment in Washington more than the possibility that the people, the states in this case, might get together and address some of these important issues because they won't do it in Congress. The bipartisanship these days means going along to get along. I want $1 billion more spent on social programs. Okay, I'll do that as long as you give me $1 billion more for military spending. And then suddenly we're $20 trillion in debt because nobody's willing to submit a balanced budget and stick to it. We overspend every year. If you couldn't do it at home, you can't do it in person. I'm going to get to more on this later. But Denise, do you remember George Papadopoulos? Does that name sound familiar to you? He's not the former premier of Greece. He is an American who worked for the Trump campaign, who is a foreign affairs specialist, right? And who over the years had done business with people in Russia and the Ukraine, things like that. So George Papadopoulos has been one of the first people to enter some sort of a guilty plea, right, under this Mueller investigation for lying about a meeting that he took part in or something. Tucker Carlson last night had an interview with George Papadopoulos' wife, who, of course, I didn't even know he was married. Didn't matter to me. I didn't care, regardless. When the woman opened her mouth, I just about fell out of my chair. So this is George Papadopoulos' wife, who's gorgeous, by the way, but apparently happens to be Russian. So he's guilty of collusion in a whole lot of ways, apparently.
Is your husband going to withdraw the plea deal? Yes or no, do you think?
That's my suggestion. I can't answer right now for him. But as I said, I don't want him to be the sacrificial lamb of the witch hunt.
I don't want him to be sacrificial lamb of witch hunt. So he clearly met this woman somewhere. I'm
there you
waiting.
Go with your accents again.
I know. Sorry about that. I sound like Boris and Natasha. I'm just waiting now for them to suggest that he's clearly guilty of something because he's married to somebody from a Slavic country. Originally, it's just so she wants him to withdraw his guilty plea because she said he was just this was all ridiculous, and he has he did nothing wrong, is her point in the meeting with the person he met with, and it had nothing to do with the Trump campaign or any of that stuff. Actually, listening to the woman's explanation got kind of laborious because after a while, it was kind of hard to keep up. I mean, I'm impressed with anybody who speaks multiple languages.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a hard time following her after a while.
So you think your husband's got a better shot in court during a trial? Is that the thinking?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are many evidences already in the public domain that shows that this situation smells more entrapment setups than any attempt to collusion. I would like to make a point which is clear. All the Crossfire Hurricane operation started based on the allegation of Clinton allies, Alexander Donner, who reported to have a conversation over drinks in London with George, who were allegedly referring about the famous dirt on Hillary Clinton. That
it was kind of hard to follow, but basically she's saying that
you have to really concentrate sometimes.
You had to concentrate on that one, but she's saying George needs to withdraw that plea. And the Manafort trial, right? We'll talk about that more and get to your phone calls coming up. 314-241-9797.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills pays some of the highest prices for gold diamonds, semi-precious stones, silver, coins, and currency. From jewelry, watches, antiques, and collectibles, the friendly and knowledgeable staff at Jewels on Hampton offers fantastic attentive service, as well as the best prices in the metro area. Looking for a new watch? Jewels on Hampton has an extensive collection of modern and vintage watches, carrying some of the top premier brands, even unique pocket watches. Jewels on Hampton features a full-service jewelry and watch repair department to restore your jewelry, watch, or heirloom to like-new condition, from cleaning to resetting. Got gold? Get paid at Jewels on Hampton at 4506 Hampton Avenue, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Learn more at jewelsonhampton.com or call 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. Jewels on Hampton, a St. Louis hidden gem.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-262-2917 to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
The Marc Cox Show, brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of The Marc Cox Show.
Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox. FM News Talk, 97.1.
A radio.com station.
He wants the John Brennan treatment. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The retired Navy admiral in charge of the Osama bin Laden raid is asking President Trump to revoke his security clearance. William McCraven claims the president's embarrassed, humiliated, and divided us as a nation. A dozen former intel officials are also critical of the president. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Those former senior intelligence officials, including 6 former CIA directors, have joined forces to sign a letter calling President Trump's action against former CIA Director John Brennan ill-considered and unprecedented. 2 of the signees, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and former CIA Director Michael Hayden, may also have their security clearances revoked. The letter addressed to the president said the Brennan decision has nothing to do with who should and should not hold security clearances and everything to do with an attempt to stifle free speech. Dave?
John, the president blames Brennan for leading what he calls the witch hunt, the Russia investigation now headed by the special counsel. Republican Senator Susan Collins does not support revoking Brennan's clearance, but
is continually attacking the president in very political terms is a disservice to the intelligence agency that he once headed.
The military parade President Trump had called for Veterans Day weekend being put off until next year. The AP reports the parade's price tag, $92 million, is 3 times initial estimates, but Defense Secretary Jim Mattis says,
whoever told you that is probably smoking something that's legal in my state, but not in most states.
A police officer's in critical condition in Phoenix, Arizona after being shot at a traffic stop. He fired back, and the gunman's also critically hurt. A Colorado man jailed without bond awaiting murder charges. Chris Watts has reportedly confessed to killing his pregnant wife and their 2 young daughters days after he claimed they were missing and urged them to come home, telling reporters. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Listen, my life changed because someone was there to get me to use drugs. No one can understand. Whether or not they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to think that having someone who will listen is gonna help make it better. I'm realizing that I need help.
I'm listening.
I need help. I'm realizing that I think that having someone who will listen is going to help make it better. Whether or not they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to understand. No one can get me to use drugs. My life changed because someone was there to listen.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time, 6:03. I'm Denise Schaefer. Here's the official AccuWeather forecast. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. Spot showers around, high of 88. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 72. Partly sunny, warm and humid again tomorrow, high of 87. Also partly cloudy, warm and humid on Sunday with a high of 88. It's 75 degrees right now. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. The lawsuit cites concerns at the Clinton Peabody housing complex, alleging problems that include rodent infestations, mold, and structural failures. Hawley says the problems have been evident for a long time but have not been resolved. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt 2 suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. The Ethical Society of Police is demanding action after reports that one of the suspects suffered a minor injury during the ride to the police station. The officer is a 16-year veteran and may face disciplinary action. A pedestrian bridge near downtown St. Louis will be torn down over the weekend. MoDOT officials say starting tonight at 8, they will shut down all lanes of I-44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandevetter. All eastbound lanes should reopen by 5 Saturday night, with westbound lanes reopening by 8 on Sunday morning. A staff member for Illinois Republican U.S. Representative Rodney Davis was arrested at a campaign event for Davis's opponent. Levi Lovell has been charged with felony aggravated battery after he allegedly got into a physical altercation at a fundraiser for Betsy Dirksen Londrigan in Springfield. Davis's campaign manager says Lovell has been fired. This report brought to you by Mattress Direct. 97.1 News Time, 6:04. It's 75 degrees. In sports, the Cardinals' 8-game winning streak is over after losing to the Nationals 5-4 at Busch Stadium last night. Starter Luke Weaver allowed 4 runs on 7 hits in 3+ innings, and Tyson Ross allowed 1 unearned run in 3+ innings of relief. Harrison Bader hit a home run as the Cardinals fell 5 games behind the National League Central leading Cubs. They host the Brewers tonight for the start of a 3-game series. Jack Flaherty gets the start. Game time is 7:15. This report brought to you by Brenton Vision, Marc Cox's choice for vision correction, 314-375-2020, BrentonVision.com. 97.1 News Time, 6:05. It's 75 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Boy, we've got wet roadways already this morning. Still raining downtown, and that rain moving on to the Illinois side. We've got an accident westbound 6440 near Jefferson. Looks like several lanes are blocked. Traffic trying to squeeze by kind of on the right shoulder. It's the center lane that is blocked by this accident. A little bit of a backup behind that. Also rain slowed is traffic on the Poplar Street Bridge. It's just a slow go while this rain moves through the area. Now, other than that, we're in pretty good shape. There was an earlier accident eastbound 40 at Mason. That one has been cleared. Just take it easy in this rain this morning. Traffic brought to you by RP Lumber. Best service, best value. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 6:06.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
It's 6:06 and 75 degrees, and FM News Talk 97.1 is now available on radio.com. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This is the Long-Term Care Minute. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, of the 16 million veterans who served during World War II, less than 558,000 are still alive. To make things worse, many of them now need long-term care. With the average cost of nursing home care approaching $7,000 monthly, we wondered, what should veterans do? For some advice on this, we called on long-term care expert and best-selling author Don Quante. So Don, what should our veterans do?
Well, quite simply, we recommend our veterans get a free copy of my book, Tax-Free Money for Long-Term Care, where they will learn about a little-known veterans benefit that may allow them to receive up to $26,000 a year tax-free to pay for long-term care. Give me a call right now. The next 30 listeners will get a free copy of my book.
That sounds great, Don. Just call 800-256-1607. That's 800-256-1607. This has been the Long-Term Care Minute.
Hey, this is Bird Legs from Sugar Creek Winery in Defiance, inviting you to enjoy the sunshine with us. We are open every day from 11 to 6. Our live music is every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 5, rain or shine. We offer wood fire brick oven pizza 2 weekends a month. Check our website for exact dates, sugarcreekwines.com. We'll help you plan the perfect wedding, graduation, or birthday celebration. That's sugarcreekwines.com.
As summer approaches, are you wanting a place to spend more time outdoors with family and friends? Now, through August 31st, Lakeside Exteriors is offering 18 months interest-free financing or 20% off carpentry, stone and brick, and deck projects. Call Lakeside Exteriors today at 636-978-5000 or visit us online at lakesideexteriors.com. And let us help you add that beautiful entertainment space like a new rear porch or 3 or 4 season room and enjoy the summer doing the things you love. Lakeside Exteriors, helping you create your dream home.
So chances are you're driving right now, and you probably weren't thinking about needing gas until this very second. Now, if you need gas and want to get more out of your miles, then you should stop by Phillips 66, because right now when you buy 8 gallons of gas, we'll give you up to 50% off St. Louis Cardinals tickets, so you can fill up and head to a game. Phillips 66. Live to the full. See official rules for details. While supplies last. Valid April 1st, 2018 through September 25th, 2018. Last day to obtain a voucher is September 23rd, 2018. Last day to redeem is September 25th, 2018. Copyright 2018 Phillips 66 Company. All rights reserved.
This hour, Making America Great, brought to you by Proctor Drapery, Blinds, Shades, and Shutters. Making your home great again. ProctorDrapery.com. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around.
Whoever told you that is probably smoking something that's legal in my state, but not in most states.
Mad Dog Mattis has got a dry sense of humor, but a sense of humor nonetheless. SecDef there basically pointing out that the left has lost its mind that the Trump administration wants to have a parade honoring
This
the
is
men
not
and
a store.
Sorry about that. I don't know what that noise is from. I hate when you pull something up and it just starts playing.
Yep.
How do you turn that off? Anyway, the left losing its collective mind that the President of the United States wants to have a parade honoring the men and women who serve this country. Well, why are we doing that? It's so militaristic. Why would we spend the money on that when we could waste it on Planned Parenthood? It's just silliness. Just silly things like this. So first they want to know how much it was going to cost, right? And there were estimates it was going to cost maybe $30 million or something like that to stage this thing down Pennsylvania Avenue. And somewhere somebody came up with an idea that it was going to cost $92 million, far more than originally estimated. Great Odin's Raven. And then they announced that they may delay it until 2019. And they all had to run to the Secretary of Defense because there are so many pressing things going on in the world. And they had to ask him, what about this estimate of $92 million for a military parade? What do you think about that, Mad Dog Mattis? And I don't know who told you that, but they were smoking something that's legal in my state. In other words, it's blown out of proportion again. But here we go. We're used to that, aren't we? Hey, welcome into back to the morning show, I should say. Hopefully you've been listening. We've been here since 5. Where you been? Raining out there a little bit. We're keeping an eye on the roads. We got Sue Thomas in here in a couple minutes with a traffic update. I've got another one of our Rock and Brew gift card giveaways today. $25 to that great restaurant down there in the valley, and you can go eat, and you can have a chance to win tickets to go see Def Leppard. We'll talk about that. You know what I'm excited about?
What's that?
Or what I'm really excited about and equally sad about is the Journey concert that's coming to Busch next Friday. You know what's going to happen, don't you? It's going to be 900 degrees again by next Friday. Inevitably, that's what's going to happen. That's going to be a great concert. And Steve Perry, the ex-singer of Journey, you know, they replaced him with this guy from the Philippines, has restarted his musical career.
I heard that. Did you hear some of the music?
I did. Jeff Allen got a clip of it sent to him as a program director, and he was playing some of it in there. And quite frankly, it didn't sound anything like Journey, obviously. Whatever he's singing these days is not Journey-esque. I hesitate to say that it was bad because I'm a Steve Perry fan.
You're a Steve Perry Journey fan.
Yeah, but it wasn't what I expected. Let's put it that way.
All right.
So maybe there's a reason why he hasn't reunited with the gang, because maybe he can't hit the notes like he used to be, and that's
tough.
There's nothing to be ashamed about that. There are lots of, David Lee Roth, a lot of these folks that were great once upon a time can't hit the same notes they could hit when they were 25 years old. It's understandable. So I don't know, but anyway, Journey's coming next Friday night.
And are you going?
I can't. I don't think. I'm bummed about that. Just because the things that were already in motion a long time ago that are happening that weekend, things with the kid and all that's probably going to prevent me from getting down there. But I would love to see Journey just one more time. This Arnel Pineda is amazing.
Yes, he is.
Don't you? Have you listened to it?
I have, yeah.
What a great story. You know that story, Z-Man?
No.
Z-Man's looking at me like, who are
you talking about? Who's Journey?
Who's Journey?
No, I
know you know that. You like that kind of music, don't you?
But I'm not familiar with the new singer.
So you know who Steve Perry is, right? The singer of Journey.
Yeah.
And the great story because the band broke up or whatever, but the musicians still wanted to continue playing. Steve Perry didn't. So they held auditions. They were looking for a singer. And they find this guy on YouTube or the internet who was singing in a Journey cover band in the Philippines, like at a hotel or something. And you look at him and he looks like a Filipino dude, like any other dude in the Philippines. But when he opens his mouth, Steve Perry's voice comes out.
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing to see. You got to just Google it and watch videos of this guy. It's amazing.
I'll check it out.
Anyway, it sounds just like the album. It really. There's only occasionally you pick up a little hint of difference between the two, but it's a pretty amazing imitation. So I'm kind of excited about that. But I'm kind of a geek about things like that, you know?
Ted Nugent, you said it. I didn't have to.
And you know what my wife calls it?
What?
I only like to go see old white guy bands.
And you don't disagree?
Well, I don't disagree, but I don't like that. I mean, these are great bands that happen to still be touring, right? It's the music I grew up with. It's music that I like. I can't.
Okay.
I mean, that's okay, right?
Yes, it's
I'm
okay.
okay with it. I'm at peace with it. You know who she's making me go see this weekend?
Who? Oh,
I'm just embarrassed to say. Tell me who you're going to see soon.
September 7th, I'm going to see Kid Rock. And who are you going to see, Mark?
Let's see. What's the date? Today is the 17th.
Uh-huh.
On August 19th, I'm going to see Rod Stewart.
Really?
And Cyndi Lauper.
Nice.
Because girls just want to have fun.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Even
time
Zach
after time.
curled his nose at that.
Oh.
You know, I'll be able to sing along with a lot of his songs.
Is Rod Stewart doing the American Songbook, or is he doing his, original stuff?
Didn't he release a new album recently?
I don't know.
I hope he doesn't do it. I hope he
Stewart.
doesn't do any of the new stuff. I'll just say that. Just play Maggie and a few other things, and I'll be happy.
So I take it you're going because your wife wants to go.
The things we do for love.
Aw.
We were offered a choice.
What a good hubby.
We were offered a choice of a
Yes.
series of concerts that we could pick from, and we would get a pair of free tickets to go to one of these.
Yes.
And I take the list home, and I'm so excited, right?
Because there's lots of great
there were
shows.
the Journey show might even have been on. There were some good shows on there. At least REO and a few of the others were on there, I know, right? And I show it to her, and she's like, you know which one I want to go to. There's a couple of country bands on there, too. And I'm like, I hope she doesn't pick one of those country bands. And she puts her finger on Rod Stewart. I'm like, really? All those great bands that are on there, that's the one you want to go see? The things we do for love. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Rod did just come out with an album this year.
Oh.
Blood Red Roses.
You better listen to that before you go. Otherwise, you're not going to know it.
Because I bet he'll be pushing it.
I'm telling you what, Heart.
You know he'll do some of the classics, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
But Heart came recently, a couple years ago. We went to see him at Harrah's. And they started playing new music. And I'm like, no, people in the audience are just looking at each other like, what the hell is this? Nobody's listening to their new music. We want to hear what you did 30 years ago. That's why we came. 314-241-9797. I'll get some of your phone calls coming up. We'll do our Rock and Brews giveaway. We got Jennifer Kashinka as well. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
.97.1 News Time, 6:18. It's 75 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet in Ferguson today where she'll discuss the importance of health care and protecting those with pre-existing conditions. A staff member for Illinois Republican U.S. Representative Rodney Davis was arrested at a campaign event for Davis's opponent after allegedly getting into a physical altercation. A promotional photo shoot involving the Granite City Police Department and the Granite City High School dance team is causing some controversy. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night. They host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. This report brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Book your fantasy football draft party at Buffalo Wild Wings, where there's Wi-Fi, wings, and beer. Plus, while supplies last, get a draft kit on us. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. 97.1 News Time, 6:19. It's 75 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
We had some rain move through the area this morning. In fact, it's still down south in the Barnhart area. You could be getting some. Now it's on the Illinois side. Well, it's left us, of course, with wet roadways. And we already have an accident westbound 6440 near Jefferson. Looks like the right lanes are blocked. Only the left lane is getting by. Heavy traffic that extends back close to the Poplar, but not all the way. Now, we are a little bit rain slowed on the Poplar Street Bridge itself. But other than that, we're off to a fairly decent start. Usually we generally have lighter volumes in the morning on Fridays. And looks like northbound 270, just moderate volume starting to build at Doherty Ferry. I'm Sue Thomas with your 97.1 News Time traffic. It's 6:20.
Well, when it comes time to put your loved one into a situation like assisted living or somewhere where they just need an extra hand, you worry about that. I worry about that. I've had this experience a couple of times. I've had to have my dad in a rehab facility, had to see my uncle placed in a home for dementia. Mm-hmm. And you want to know, your worst nightmare is to wake up one morning and find out that they're not being treated properly. So you have to go and you have to do your research. You have to tour these places and make sure that it's the right place. I've been in a lot of them. The Garden View Care Centers are a cut above when it comes to assisted living and peace of mind. It's what Richard Winter, the owner, is all about. It's what he believes in. We saw it firsthand.
We absolutely did. And the thing that Garden View Care Centers does is they offered Assisted Living Plus. And what that does is it means you're not having, you have to make that decision and it's difficult, but you never have to make it again. Because as your loved one lives in the Garden View Care Centers, they can take care of you every step of the way. They allow residents to remain in the same environment while receiving more care as needed. And there's just comfort in knowing that your loved one's needs can be met on site, regardless of the level of care that they're going to require, so you're not making that decision again. And if your loved one needs rehab services at any time, they also have rehab departments on site at each location as well. Again, those locations, Chesterfield, Doherty Ferry at Big Bend. Take a tour of one of their beautiful facilities today. Go to gvcc.com.
Hey, St. Louis, want a great deal on tires? Go to CarX Tire and Auto and save up to $200 on 4 tires installed. If you need tires, you need CarX.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Limited time offer. See store for details.
Gateway Area Acura Dealers Summer Performance Event has finally arrived. Drive home a new 2018 TLX for $5,500 less than a Lexus IS. GatewayAreaAcuraDealers.com. TLX MSRP $33,000. Dealers set their own price. Destination and handling are extra.
Hey guys, Glover here for my very good friends at Window World. Man, these guys have been with me for a long time, and I am so proud and privileged to represent them. Every year we get together, usually once a year. A couple good North County boys own the Window World here in town, and I say, who's your big competition? And this latest time they looked at each other and smiled, and they said, Dave, we really don't have a lot of competition. The guys, the solo guys riding around in their truck, God love them, with a magnetic sign on the side of their pickup, but no big companies because we're just that good. Whatever rating agency you go to, they're just so highly rated. They are absolutely dedicated to customer service. They do these fantastic replacement windows. They're so durable, you can actually stand on them. That's one of the kind of little gimmicks that they have. So call them. Make sure you mention me to get the very best of everything. 314-993-1800 or windowworldstl.com. 314-993-1800.
The Randy Tobler Show.
Saturday, Exhibit A as to why Facebook and other social media are in decline. Why wouldn't Facebook take an ad for my wife's healthy and innocent blog post? We'll talk about it. Don't miss it.
Randy Tobler, Saturday mornings.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
Is the radio.com app available on your smartphone in the App Store? Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Marc Cox. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
You need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling. I'm gonna send you back to school.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Way down inside.
Follow the show on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Marc Cox Show.
I'm gonna give you my love. Want a whole lot of 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 love. You've been learning, baby, I've been learning.
If you're feeding a person a crap sandwich with a smile, it's still a crap sandwich.
Colonel West with your words of wisdom this morning. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Before we get to the more serious news of the day, did you see this story about this guy that won $1 million over in Aviston, Illinois?
No.
So they had the Queen of Hearts over there had a raffle, right? Mm-hmm. And it ran for more than a year, and a winner finally won the $1 million jackpot.
Okay.
Guy takes home the jackpot. This is the Belleville News Democrat was reporting on. I think the Post might have had it too. So this guy worked for Illinois Central Railroad for 42 years. I guess he's retired. And in November, their jackpot had reached over $1 million. But the guy only won half the pot because he wasn't present for the drawing. So then it started building up again. On Wednesday, the pot was $1,302,000 when this gentleman won it all. I'm just guessing that somebody from the state of Illinois was standing there with a bag to take half of it in taxes. But the dude won $1 million at his church.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Is he supposed to give it back to the church?
Oh, I don't know. Like if you win the 50-50 at a charity benefit, they expect you to give your half of it back. Mm-hmm. That's tough.
Yeah.
It's $500, $600.
It's like when you win, do you really win?
Yeah, really? No, probably not. No, I'm sure he kept it. Looks like he's retired, and $1 million. That's a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
I can remember when my parents lived in a small town in Ohio, and there were places in town that would do things like this that were, I don't know, kind of under the radar. I'm assuming there are places like that across the country, lodges and places where you go. And for their members, they have a jackpot. And you have to sign the book when you get there to prove that you were a member and you were actually there at some point during the week. And in some cases, you pay $5 and you sign this book. And then they draw a name. randomly at the end of the week on Saturday night. And if the person whose name they drew signed the book and paid their $5, they win whatever the pot was. Well, usually these pots roll over week to week to week to week to week.
Mm-hmm.
There were people walking out of this place with $30,000 in a brown paper bag.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And usually what they would do was if the winner was there, they'd go up and claim their victory, and then they would arrange to come back at some random time in the future to pick it up because they didn't want some thief waiting for them outside in the parking lot
And so
when they
after
left.
you win, you can't win again, right? Or can you?
You can win again the next week.
Oh, wow.
Just the pot starts building up again. So they obviously the clubs use it as a draw to get people into the facility to have a beer or whatever the case, or eat food while they're there, and then they pay their $5 and sign the book. So
got to play
But
to
there
win.
were a
Do you
bunch
play
of
the
them.
lottery? Like, do you ever buy? Or you
You-
ever
you
buy
know-
a ticket like on a regular basis, or
you-
just when it's big?
You know,
or-
I do occasionally. Usually when it's big, I don't do it regularly.
Mhm.
Occasionally, if I'm walking out of the grocery store and I have a $5 bill in my hand, I'll buy one of those scratch-off tickets
Yeah.
just for kicks. I never win anything.
No, I haven't either.
Sometimes you win your money back, but
That's
that's
why I
about it.
stopped playing. I'm like, I'm just
I
losing
know.
my money.
I know. But if you don't play, you can't win.
I'm that. Yeah, exactly. But I'm that person that goes to Vegas too, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do a penny slot. I don't do any gambling.
Remind me to tell you, I've never told this on the air before. Remind me to tell you my parents' Las Vegas win sometime.
Okay.
It was a good story. Sue Thomas is looking at me like, are you really going to tell that on the radio? I don't know. What do you think, Sue?
Talk about it. I think it's great.
It's
I
a
think
good,
you
it's
should
a good
talk
story.
about
I'll
it.
tell people will have people will end up with the wrong impression. I'm afraid, but I will
Well,
tell
now
that story.
I will definitely remind you. I got to hear this. Now I
Yeah,
don't know
you'll
this
want to
story.
hear that. I'll tell the story coming up because we're going to have to get to a break here, and we got to Your Money Now and Jennifer Kashink after the bottom of the hour. But I will tell that story. More proof that if sometimes even if you're forced to play, you can win.
Yeah,
and that's the moral of this story. So if you don't play, you can't win. That's all I'll
That's
say.
very true.
And inevitably,
That's why I've never won.
Inevitably, I need a Jack Handy episode because I'll go in and scan my little lottery ticket and it says not a winner. Makes me feel, it hurts my feelings when I read that. Not a winner. 314-241-9797. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. A military parade in Washington to mark Veterans Day and 100 years since the end of World War I in November is being put off.
The Pentagon now says it's exploring options for 2019 without giving a reason. President Trump had received criticism over the high cost of putting on a parade at taxpayer expense. In February, the president's budget director estimated it would cost up to $30 million. But since then, cost estimates have soared to nearly $90 million.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon. New York University announces free tuition for all medical students.
NYU announcing the windfall for med students, saying it's concerned about saddling students with six-figure debt because it narrows their career options. The school's already raised $450 million of the $600 million it needs to cover tuition permanently.
Fox's Carmen Roberts in New York. Fox News. We report, you decide.
.97.1 News Time, 6:31. It's 75 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and this report brought to you by Amco Ranger Pest Control, protecting what matters since 1965. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt two suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. The Ethical Society of Police is demanding action after reports that one of the suspects suffered a minor injury during the ride to the police station. The officer is a 16-year veteran and may face disciplinary action. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet today in Ferguson. It's part of her ongoing effort to discuss the importance of health care. The event will be held at 1 this afternoon on South Florissant Road, and she'll be focused on protecting Missourians with pre-existing conditions. A staff member for Illinois Republican U.S. Representative Rodney Davis was arrested at a campaign event for Davis's opponent. Levi Lovell has been charged with felony aggravated battery after he allegedly got into a physical altercation at a fundraiser for Betsy Durskin-Londrigan in Springfield. 97 Win News Time, 6:32.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Rain throughout the area this morning. I was reminded that it's raining downtown, but there's also a cell kind of moving through the O'Fallon area quickly to the east. So just bear that in mind. We've got wet roadways out there as well. Accident westbound 6440 near Jefferson. Now that's blocking the right lane. And traffic, of course, heavy and slow behind that. We were also rain slowed on the Poplar Street Bridge, northbound 270. Starting to see some volume now between Big Bend and Manchester. Eastbound 70, of course, slow through the rainy area out in the O'Fallon and Cave Springs, and currently as you move east. Eastbound 6440, just the usual volume headed for Mason. Don't forget, crews will close 44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandeventer starting tonight at 8. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 6:33.
Well, you know, I don't know about you, but in my family when I was little, when it was time to go to the dentist, oftentimes my mom would pick me up and she wouldn't tell me where we were going till we pulled into the lot because she knew what my reaction was going to be if I had to go to the dentist. A lot of people had that experience at some point in their lives, and as a result, now as adults, they have sort of a built-in fear of going to the dentist. Dr. Michael White, my dentist now, he doesn't want you to feel that way. He says there's no reason for you to feel that way. If you're that uptight, you're that anxious about it, he can offer anxiety-free sedation where you take a little pill and you get the work done and you wake up and it's all over with. But you don't have to do that. Dr. White he listens to his patients. He used to be in a bigger practice. I told you that, and he went to a single practice because he wanted that one-on-one time with his patients. You're going to love his staff. They accommodate schedules because they know not everybody works, you know, a Monday through Friday 9 to 4 shift. So they take care of you when it comes to that. Call them, let them come in. They're very affordable. 314-270-8552. 314-270-8552. You can get your first consultation, exam, and any x-rays for just $10. Go to his website at sunsethills.dentist.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Watch the Marc Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Hi, I've got a question about Schnucks Rewards. What is it?
Oh, Schnucks Rewards is a new mobile app that earns you points on just about everything you buy. When the points add up, you can redeem them for money off.
Really? How?
Oh, it adds up automatically at checkout. You can also use the app to locate items, fill prescriptions, and check the weekly ad.
Whoa, so I get points and helpful features?
Mm-hmm.
Mind blown.
Shop, earn, redeem. Download Schnucks Rewards from your app store.
Your Money Matters, brought to you by Fisher Window and Door Store, your dealer for Marvin Windows and Doors in the St. Louis region. FisherWindow.com.
dirty looks from your mother. Never seen you in a dress that color, no. It's a special occasion.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Not invited, but I'm glad I made it. Oh, let me apologize. I'll make up for all those times.
What in the hell's diversity?
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
I think he's onto something. Who needs diversity in music?
No, just turn up the music, Zach.
Quit playing this because Denise is dancing in the studio. We're just in here talking about Maroon 5 and Zach plays that next.
Are you criticizing my dance moves? Is that what's going on here?
No. I just, a little bit of that goes a long way. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. No, don't take that personally. Let's get to our guest, please. Jennifer Kashenka, we were just talking about bands and favorite bands, and I said that I'm taking one for the team, and I'm going with my wife to see Rod Stewart and Cyndi Lauper this weekend.
All right. Well,
so
she feels bad for you.
So if Jennifer Kashenka had to pick a band to go see Sunday night, who would it be?
I am going next week to see Stevie Wonder.
There you go.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's
number one all time on my list.
Oh, I'll bet. I guess I didn't even know he was still touring. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it a small venue? Is he doing a small concert hall? Or?
It's the Borgata in Atlantic City, which I kind of regret going to. Atlantic City is not my favorite place, but yeah.
Is it at the Trump Hotel in Atlantic City?
No, the Borgata.
Oh, the Borgata. Borgata is a hotel. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
It's a casino hotel.
Oh, okay,
casino.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. All right, well, good. What's going on out there?
Futures are lower this morning after blue chips rallied yesterday. The Dow Industrial soared 396. The Nasdaq gained 32. Bayer is vowing to step up its defense against a wave of U.S. lawsuits over the herbicide Roundup as it begins the formal integration of Monsanto. Until recently, the German drug and chemical giant was barred from steering Monsanto's legal strategy. But with the merger now complete, that's changing. Bayer is facing $289 million in damages after Monsanto lost the first court case stemming from the claims that the weed killer caused cancer, and this will be just the first of many. More than 5,000 U.S. residents have joined similar suits. In a bid to grow its space and satellite business, Boeing says it plans to acquire military contractor Millennium Space Systems based in El Segundo, California. Millennium Space Systems develops and manufactures military satellites. Its primary customer is the Air Force, which could open up opportunities for Boeing to compete in the national security space sector. Terms of the deal not disclosed. Shares of Deere down 1% in pre-market trading after the agriculture and construction equipment maker reported quarterly revenue that topped expectations but provided a downbeat sales growth outlook. The FDA has approved a new generic version of EpiPen, the emergency medication stocked by schools and parents to treat allergic reactions. The approval comes 2 years after EpiPen maker Mylan was berated by lawmakers for hiking the price of its product by more than 500%. The new version will be sold by Teva. There's a good chance that the CEO of your company made about 312 times more money than you did last year. According to research by the Economic Policy Institute, the average CEO at the 350 largest companies received $18.9 million in 2017, a nearly 18% increase from 2016. The wages of a typical worker rose just 0.3%. And speaking of big money, Avengers Infinity War star Scarlett Johansson is the highest paid actress this year with a whopping $40.5 million earned. According to Forbes, Johansson quadrupled her 2017 earnings to take the top spot. While most of the actresses on the list made the majority of their income from movies, like Angelina Jolie with Maleficent 2, Jennifer Aniston made most of hers from past projects and endorsements. Aniston is number 3 on the list, still raking in cash from her Friends syndication deal, plus large earnings from her appearance in commercials. Mark?
Wow. Yeah, I read that story yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, when is the last time that Angelina Jolie was in a movie? And then it dawned, the Maleficent, I forgot all about that. Mm-hmm. I couldn't, nothing popped out at me. It just didn't seem like she's been that active making movies to have that sort of level of income. That's amazing.
Yeah, she's been a little behind the scenes in a way.
Yeah, It sure sounds like it. All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Have a good weekend.
You too. Enjoy.
All right. Yep. Take care. Appreciate that. And Jennifer Aniston makes most of her money from like endorsing skincare products
Yeah,
or
she does
something.
a vino, I think, and yeah.
Like what she must be, if she's that high on the list, what, 20 or 30 million a year?
Incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I just think back to We're the Millers. I'm focused on that movie for some reason.
That movie's
I don't know
funny.
why. I don't know. Did you see Maleficent? Have your girls like that
yes,
show?
we did see Maleficent, and that was good.
1 and 2? See the second one?
I didn't know there was a second one.
Come on, Angelina Jolie is rich because there's a second one.
I did not know that, but we did see the first one.
I assume it was big among some subset of teenagers because she made a lot of money last year.
Yeah.
And she only did that one movie. Do you see where she's dragging Brad Pitt through like divorce court trying to get more cash for the kids or
I
something?
think they're both okay.
You think they're doing okay?
I think they're both doing okay.
Yeah. I think that's probably the case overall. That's good. Well, anyway. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, if you missed our interview with Eric Trump yesterday, let me remind you, you can always go to our website, 971talk.com/Cox. We have all of our interviews are up there on demand. You can listen to them. We have podcasts. You can sign up for those and go to the Facebook page, The Marc Cox Show, MarcCox on Facebook. Give us a like, and when we post new content up there, you'll automatically get an alert on your phone, on your Facebook page. So anyway, that's a good thing, and it lets people know that all that stuff's up there. Coming up today, I've got Annie Fry coming up at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. We've invited on, I was talking about school security the other day. You know, it's my long-standing opinion that the only way we protect our children in these huge gun-free zones known as schools and soft targets is to harden them somewhat. It has to be a combination of response time from the local authorities, because obviously they have to be able to get there quickly and be alerted. There need to be metal detectors, right? There need to be people on the property that have weapons. Whether it's a child who brings a weapon to school, a student, or a stranger who comes in, these schools need to be hardened. They need to have a multifaceted approach. My point was, the school year just started this week for my kids. I'm probably yours if you have them. And what has your school district done? What have they done? What step have they taken? So I believe yesterday might have been was that the anniversary of the Parkland shooting? Is that what he was talking about? I know I heard the president talk about it yesterday, the 1-year anniversary. And the question is, what have you done, Mr. Superintendent or Mrs. Superintendent, to change security measures since last year? Every parent should ask that question. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to have a gentleman on who has helped create, he's a local guy, he's helped create and implement school safety systems as it applies to first responders. So that's part of the plan here. It doesn't fix everything, but you have to make sure that the people responding have a good idea of what's going on, and that puts them ahead of the curve when they arrive on the scene. So I've got that coming up at about 7:37. Set your alarm clocks and be sure you don't miss that. Mm-hmm. A little later in the show, Hans von Spakovsky is going to be here. The cake baker in Colorado who got dragged all the way to the Supreme Court because the politically correct crowd was going to shut him down because he dared to, on religious liberty grounds, refuse to bake a cake for a gay couple, right? They almost put him out of business. Supreme Court sided with him. He's back in business. Now they're making another run at him, and we're going to talk to Hans von Spakovsky on what that's all about, what the grounds are, if they can, even with the Supreme Court decision, can they keep just making these in runs and trying to shut this guy down because they disagree with his opinion. There are 100 cake bakers in Colorado. They're going to shut this guy down. 314-241-9797, and I promise when we come back, we'll talk about gambling in Las Vegas.
Got to hear the story about your parents.
We'll be right back.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
97.1 News Time, 6:47. It's 75 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet in Ferguson today, where she will also discuss the importance of health care and protecting those with pre-existing conditions. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt two suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night. They host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. This report brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is the place for your fantasy draft party. Choose the $30 deal with 30 traditional or 40 boneless wings, or the $60 deal. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports, prices and participation vary. 97.1 News Time, 6:47. It's 75 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Well, that rain has moved from Highway 70 onto 270, so we are rain slowed westbound 270, especially between 367 and New Florissant. Now, eastbound 70 drivers, not that bad, just a little bit off the pace because of the wet roadways headed for 270. Southbound 270's a slowdown through the construction zone at Dorset. Most of the heavy volume is downtown. We had this accident westbound 6440 near Jefferson. It's been blocking the right lane, and we now have a solid jam that goes back across the Poplar Street Bridge all the way to the King Bridge split because of it. Accident southbound 55 approaching Highway 61. It was a tractor trailer that went off the roadway, and traffic is down to one lane. Also some volume now northbound 270 for those drivers, and that's between 55 and Gravois. Also a little bit slow at Manchester. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 6:48.
A lot of people face growing older, and they start to realize that there are things about their house that they'd like to change. One of those things is often the bathroom. If you have trouble with mobility, getting in and out of a bathtub can be dangerous as people age. And the folks at Granite Transformations have made that one of their specialties. They specialize in full bath remodels. That way you can age in place, and it makes life easier, right? You get a beautiful bathroom at the same time. They build you, a shower, maybe with a seat in it, all encompassed in this beautiful Granite Transformations product of your choice. It might be the engineered granite. It might be the quartz, or whatever you choose. They build it to your specifications, and your bathroom is going to be breathtaking and usable. How about that? And you can age in place. Fantastic. They also do kitchen countertops. They do bathroom countertops. They reface cabinets. They do tile backsplashes. Make Granite Transformations your go-to if you're updating any room in your house that has a hard surface on it. 636-728-1100 is the phone number. They'll come to you for a free estimate. They'll come to the house and show you. Go to their website to find out more details. That is granitetransformations.com.
Get out of debt with Golden Oak Lending. With today's low mortgage rates in the 3s and increased home prices, now's the time to get low interest money. Call Golden Oak at 314-567-GOLD. NMLS 114937.
Kevin and Dave here from Mentality here in St. Louis.
Guys that approach me out in public say they're shocked at how low their testosterone was when they came into the office. And I try to explain to them that the environment we live in, the lack of physical effort we do, all of that destroys testosterone.
On top of that, we all put in longer hours than we ever did before. We don't sleep as well. Stress is higher than ever, and we're expected to do more with the kids at home too.
To find out more in our St. Louis clinics, go to lowtusa.com.
Hey guys, it's Glover. We have teamed up with Michael's Flooring Outlet to find DGS Superfan with a shout out from their favorite show. Get featured on our website, and they'll receive a limited edition DGS Superfan t-shirt courtesy of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Get registered now at 971talk.com/super.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This hour, Making America Great, brought to you by Proctor Drapery, Blinds, Shades, and Shutters. Making your home great again. ProctorDrapery.com. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
Well, I want to begin today by expressing my condolences to the family of a person I knew well. She worked for me on numerous occasions. She was terrific. Aretha Franklin, on her passing. She's brought joy to millions of lives, and her extraordinary legacy will thrive and inspire many generations to come. She was given a great gift from God, her voice, and she used it well. People loved Aretha. She's a special woman, so I just want to pass on my warmest best wishes and sympathies to her family.
More proof that there's nothing Donald Trump can say that doesn't trigger the left. How dare he suggest he employed Aretha Franklin? We know the man owns casinos and hotels all over the country.
Yes.
If she ever sang in one of them, he employed her. Right?
Yes.
Or hosted her, whatever you want to. But they got on him about that in the liberal media. How he lied again. He didn't employ her.
Fake news.
Fake news. It doesn't matter what it is. That's what they're going to say, ladies and gentlemen. So is Sue Thomas available? I don't know if she's got her big X up on the window. Wait. Is she about to pull it off? Hold on. There we go.
The X is down.
Sue is helping us, and she's, of course, helping KZK in the mornings. Am I allowed to say that? Hey, Susan.
Hi.
You've heard this story before. I'm gonna tell it. So my parents had a little luck in Las Vegas many years ago, like 20 years ago. It's happened. I was a reporter at Channel 4 at the time, and it was their anniversary. They're flying out to Vegas, and my dad didn't want to go because he didn't want to spend the money. Mm-hmm. And he really didn't like gambling, which is the moral to the story here, ultimately. And my mom and her friends goaded him into it, and we goaded him into it. We're like, it's for your anniversary. You should go.
You go.
So he finally agreed to go. So they get a red-eye flight to Vegas. They're going to spend 4 days. They're staying at the MGM, I think, something like that. And one night, near the end of the 4 days, they go to Old Las Vegas, downtown, to Binion's Horseshoe Casino. If you've ever been down there, they've got this light display that goes over your head. The ladies all wanted to see that. So I'm guessing it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. They go down there. Dad's down about $600 at this point, right? He's been there for 4 days.
He is not happy.
He was not a happy man. He'd lost about $600. And he walks into Binion's, and they're all looking at the light display, and he goes, well, while you all watch this, because it takes 10 or 15 minutes, he said, I'm going to walk in here and find a slot machine. So he walks through the door at Binion's with one of his friends who was with him, sits down at this row of machines, didn't pay any attention to what it was, really, and he plugs $10 into a machine. And he pulls the lever a couple times, and the thing locks up, and it says, cool millions, cool millions, cool millions. And he looks up, and the machine has a jackpot on it of like $1,400. Dad thinks he's won $1,400. He was just thrilled, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I think I won something. Look at this. He nudges his buddy who's sitting next to him, and he points to the top of it, and he goes, I think you won that. Yep. Well, ends up, it was a group of slot machines connected to 5 other casinos, and it had a jackpot that had been building up from people from these 5 casinos.
How much did he win?
He won a jackpot of $2,056,000.
Right? And this is real. This
happened.
This doesn't happen to people. So when Mark was kind of hesitant to even tell that story after it happened because it doesn't even seem real.
That doesn't seem real.
No.
Like this is a dream.
So they were all worried about it because they were afraid all their friends were going to treat them differently and all this stuff.
Yes.
Well, it ends up that my dad retired from a steel mill. He was not a rich man. My mom was a retired teacher. The way the jackpot was set up, you had to take it in an annuity. So they got a little bit of money every year for 20 years.
Oh my
But they didn't get it. They didn't get it all at
crazy?
once. It doesn't make you a millionaire. Basically, just it boosted their retirement income. It was
That's
fantastic.
awesome.
Isn't that a great story?
Yeah, that makes me want to go play now.
Which gets us back to my point. Are we out here just about? So it gets me back to my point that you can't win if you don't play.
True. Even
if you don't want to go, you got to try it. 314-241-9797. We're back at the top of the hour.
Hey, it's 3 a.m. and the ticking clock seems as loud as a jackhammer, and instead of dreaming about marshmallow clouds and, I don't know, running with antelopes, you're having night sweats and worried about your parents and their medical bills. They're older, you're stressed, I get it. But losing sleep over a few questions about a medical bill isn't going to help. What will is knowing your parents have Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They provide real people to talk to who can help, right then and there on the phone. It's this really crazy notion Anthem likes to call doing the right thing. So your parents will get the care they need, you'll feel more confident than ever, and those antelopes, well, they're about to get their running partner back.
For all the things that keep you up at night, Anthem Medicare has a solution. Real people empowered to get you on the right track so you can rest easy. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Rest easy. To learn more, visit resteasy-anthem.com. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of the Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc., independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Kevin and Dave here from Mentality here in St. Louis.
Guys that approach me out in public say they're shocked at how low their testosterone was when they came into the office. And I try to explain to them that the environment we live in, the lack of physical effort we do, all of that destroys testosterone.
On top of that, we all put in longer hours than we ever did before. We don't sleep as well. Stress is higher than ever, and we're expected to do more with the kids at home too.
To find out more in our St. Louis clinics, go to lowtusa.com.
This is the Long-Term Care Minute. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, of the 16 million veterans who served during World War II, less than 558,000 are still alive. To make things worse, many of them now need long-term care. With the average cost of nursing home care approaching $7,000 monthly, we wondered, what should veterans do? For some advice on this, we called on long-term care expert and best-selling author Don Quante. So Don, what should our veterans do?
Well, quite simply, we recommend our veterans get a free copy of my book, Tax-Free Money for Long-Term Care, where they will learn about a little-known veterans benefit that may allow them to receive up to $26,000 a year tax-free to pay for long-term care. Give me a call right now. The next 30 listeners will get a free copy of my book.
That sounds great, Don. Just call 800-256-1607. That's 800-256-1607. This has been the Long-Term Care Minute.
Dear beloved home, you've always been there for us. From our kids playing in the bathtub when they were little, to teaching our son how to shave for the very first time. But now we have 3 teenagers, and it's created quite the traffic jam. Right Bath by Mosby gave us a wide variety of design choices, all in the latest styles to reflect our tastes. Thank you, Right Bath, for helping us bring an end to the daily bathroom wars, and for helping us love our home again for years to come.
Call 909-1820 or visit rightbath.com. Right Bath by Mosby. Home never felt so good.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
The Marc Cox Show, brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of The Marc Cox Show.
Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox. FM News Talk, 97.1.
A radio.com station.
That big parade the commander-in-chief wants, delayed. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's not going to happen Veterans Day weekend, as had been planned. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The military parade to honor America's military veterans and commemorate the centennial of World War I has now been moved to sometime next year. Defense Secretary James Mattis took issue with an AP story, which estimated the parade's potential cost at $92 million.
I almost guarantee you one thing. They probably said, I need to stay anonymous. No kidding. Because you'll look like an idiot.
President Trump had received criticism over the cost of putting on a parade at taxpayer expense. The president said in February a military parade in Washington would be great for the spirit of the country. Dave?
And John, the president just tweeted about this. The local politicians who run Washington poorly know a windfall when they see it. And when they asked to give us a price for holding a great parade, they wanted a number so ridiculously high, I canceled it. A dozen former senior intelligence officers have all signed a letter critical of the president, revoking ex-CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance, calling it ill-considered, trying to stifle free speech. And a retired Navy admiral who led the bin Laden raid is urging the president to also revoke his clearance, saying the president's embarrassed and divided us as a nation. Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, just told Fox revoking Brennan's clearance was the right thing to do, with him now a cable TV pundit.
So I know it says former CIA director, but what is he doing currently to merit that security clearance? This is not about being a critic of the president.
Chris Watts is jailed without bail in Colorado. Who's he? A father who reportedly confessed to killing his family days after he went on TV claiming his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters were missing.
Like Shanann, Belle, and Celeste, if you're out there, please, just come home.
All their bodies have been found near where Watts worked. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. You know, set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time, 7:03. I'm Denise Schaefer. Here's the official AccuWeather forecast. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. Some spot showers around and a high of 88. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 72. Then partly sunny, warm and humid this weekend. High of 87 on Saturday and 88 on Sunday. It's 75 degrees right now. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt two suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. The Ethical Society of Police is demanding action after reports that one of the suspects suffered a minor injury during the ride. The officer is a 16-year veteran and could face disciplinary action. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet today in Ferguson. It's part of her ongoing effort to discuss the importance of health care. The event will be held at 1 this afternoon on South Florissant, and she'll be focused on talking about protecting Missourians with pre-existing conditions. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. The lawsuit cites concerns at the Clinton Peabody housing complex, alleging problems that include rodent infestations, mold, and structural failures. Hawley says the problems have been evident for a long time but have not been resolved. A pedestrian bridge near downtown St. Louis will be torn down over the weekend. MoDOT officials say starting tonight at 8, they will shut down all lanes of I-44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandeventer. All eastbound lanes should reopen by 5 o'clock on Saturday night, with the westbound lanes reopening by 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. This report brought to you by Lending Tree. Lending Tree can get you cash with a reverse mortgage or a home equity loan. Call for details, 800-713-2779, 800-713-2779. 97.1 News Time, 7:04. It's 75 degrees. Sports is brought to you by Anthem Healthcare. The Cardinals' 8-game winning streak is over after losing to the Nationals 5-4 at Busch Stadium last night. Starter Luke Weaver allowed 4 runs on 7 hits in 3+ innings, and Tyson Ross allowed 1 unearned run in 3+ innings of relief. Harrison Bader hit a home run as the Cardinals fell 5 games behind the National League Central leading Cubs. They host the Brewers tonight for the start of a 3-game series. Jack Flaherty gets the start. Game time is 7:15. This report brought to you by Brinton Vision, Marc Cox's choice for vision correction, 314-375-2020, brintonvision.com. 97.1 News Time, 7:05. It's 75 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Well, good news. They've cleared the accident westbound 6440 near Jefferson. That is gone. Traffic is looking much better behind that. We still, however, have a jam for drivers headed in from Illinois. Now, that rain shower has been moving through North County, so westbound 270 is still lined up, and that's approaching 367, heaviest through Washington Elizabeth, and then things look better. Southbound 270 is slow go in the construction zone at Dorset. Northbound, a lot of volume today on either side of Gravois, also a little bit at Manchester. Other than that, we're in fairly decent shape at this hour. In fact, eastbound 6440 still looking good at Mason. A slow pocket or two along eastbound 70, headed for the Blanchette Bridge, but for the most part, that looks good. Traffic brought to you by RP Lumber, best service, best value. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 7:06.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
It's 7:06 and 75 degrees, and FM News Talk 97.1 is now available on radio.com. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This is the Long-Term Care Minute. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, of the 16 million veterans who served during World War II, less than 558,000 are still alive. To make things worse, many of them now need long-term care. With the average cost of nursing home care approaching $7,000 monthly, we wondered, what should veterans do? For some advice on this, we called on long-term care expert and best-selling author Don Quante. So Don, what should our veterans do?
Well, quite simply, we recommend our veterans get a free copy of my book, Tax-Free Money for Long-Term Care, where they will learn about a little-known veterans benefit that may allow them to receive up to $26,000 a year tax-free to pay for long-term care. Give me a call right now. The next 30 listeners will get a free copy of my book.
That sounds great, Don. Just call 800-256-1607. That's 800-256-1607. This has been the Long-Term Care Minute.
Gateway Area Acura Dealer's summer performance event has finally arrived. Drive home a new 2018 MDX for $13,000 less than a BMW X5. GatewayAreaAcuraDealers.com.
MDX MSRP $44,200. Dealers set their own price. Destination and handling are extra.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. #1 in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. Hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at LincolnPowersports.com.
Well, I love to get a good deal. You know that. But have you ever heard of the word FOMO? You probably heard of COMO for Columbia, Missouri, right? FOMO is the fear of missing out. And you don't ever, if you have that, you're afraid that you didn't get as good a deal as you could have, and you're shopping for something, you don't want to overspend for it. Go to Diamonds Direct if what you're shopping for is an engagement ring or a diamond upgrade, whatever the deal is, because Diamonds Direct is going to save you from all of that fear of missing out. The second guessing, the what ifs, and the wish I hads, like I only saw a few rings, what if there were more, or what if I could have gotten a bigger diamond for less? Whatever the case may be, you don't worry about it. Diamonds Direct has a huge selection, maybe 30 times that of other stores. That goes for their rings and their diamonds. So whatever shaped diamond you're looking for, they have it. They don't bring it in from a third-party wholesaler, which means they're cutting out the middleman and they're saving you money on the front end. So you're getting a great diamond at a great price. And if you ever have to trade it in, so you want to upgrade one of these days, they're going to give you 110% of what you paid for it toward the new ring. Where else do you go to get a deal like that? And we're fortunate enough to have them right here in town. It is Diamonds Direct. No fear of missing out over there. You're going to be completely confident you got it right the first time. Go visit Diamonds Direct at Olive and 270 at City Place.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the Radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the Radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This hour, Making America Great, brought to you by Proctor Drapery, Blinds, Shades, and Shutters. Making your home great again. ProctorDrapery.com. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
Change, change, change. Change, change, change.
I agree with the president what he did. I think there's a lot more people who, frankly, deserve the same treatment. So I agree with the president what he did. I think there's a lot more people who, frankly, deserve the same treatment.
Jim Jordan there talking about John Brennan being stripped of his security clearance. All of these other top former officials coming forward and signing a letter opposing what the president did. Well, you know what? Here's a lesson for you. Don't poke the bear, right? Don't be the guy that's been in front of the left-wing media with his own chair with his name on the back of it for the past 18 months, screaming traitor to the president of the United States. That's not your job. Even if you're a former CIA official, you're welcome to your opinion. But when you're tapping into the intelligence community with your security clearance to gain information or access or make accusations, that's a misuse of your power. And the president has shut that down, and he may shut it down again. So Jim Jordan thinks that that he did the right thing. And I would have to agree with Jordan on that one. Well, 314-241-9797. Glad that you're with us, and glad that it's Friday, aren't you, Denise?
Absolutely.
Glad that it's Friday.
Love Fridays.
I know that Trisha's glad that it's Friday because she's on vacation next week.
Yes.
She's already there, I think. I'm just
always feel that way.
What do you think,
when
Z-Man?
you're getting ready to go on
she's
vacation.
there yet?
Has she been cracking the whip on you today?
No.
No?
He's ready to go.
The
He's ready to
Z-Man
take
will be in the
reins.
studio with us all next week and kind of taking over the reins here while Trisha goes and relaxes and all that good stuff. It'll be fun. She's like most of it. It's the day before vacation, you're already gone, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been teasing her out there of whether she was asleep. Claimed she was nodding off at her computer earlier. Hey, coming up at the bottom of the hour, I've got a gentleman here locally who has helped develop a program for school safety that can be implemented by these schools that lets first responders know who they're dealing with and what the situation is at the school before they arrive. Could be part of the bigger approach to school safety. I mean, I've seen all of this dramatic stuff on Facebook about, send my kids back to school today. Just read a story about somebody buying a bulletproof backpack. I'm so worried, or I feel stress over this, or what are we going to do about this, or what are we going to do about that? And ultimately, what I find is the solution in these long, ridiculous posts comes back to, we need more gun control. No, we don't. We need more school control. You don't have this problem at federal courthouses. You don't have this problem at anywhere where they have metal detectors and armed guards. And why wouldn't we protect our most precious resource is my point. So we're going to talk about at least part of the approach to hardening some of these schools coming up here in just a couple of minutes with Dan Hayes. So stick around for that around 7:37 this morning. Right now, let's get to our guest, please.
What do you want from me? I'm not America, sweetheart.
Back up, you creep.
So beat the drum with me.
Get away from me.
America, sweetheart.
Annie Fry, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you awake?
Yes, I'm awake.
Glad to hear that.
Aren't
Thank
I?
you. Thank you. Just checking in. I know it's early in the morning when you don't have to be here at 5, so to get up at 7.
Are you fully adjusted yet?
you ever?
I think
clock changed.
I think I am. I did this shift for many years on television, and there are always those days when the alarm clock goes off, and you get up and you sit on the side of the bed with your head in your hands, thinking to yourself, "What am I doing?" And then once you get into a routine, so it's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah,
it's good though.
It's not an easy adjustment for most people, I would say.
Feel lucky to be here. That's for sure. Hey, let me pick your brain for a minute on this school safety issue, because Denise and I were talking about it. Our kids went back to school this week. I think yours did too, correct?
Yep. Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
These stories come up. I think yesterday was an anniversary of the school shooting. Was it in Florida? Was that the Parkland school shooting?
It was 6 months on the 14th.
6 months.
It was
Okay.
Valentine's
All right.
Day.
Yeah. And a lot of people I saw on social media were opining about, what's been done, what have we done about this, and most of their focus is on gun control, when we know the truth about what happened down there is that gun control was not the problem. The kid fell through the cracks on so many levels. The school district failed him. The sheriff down there failed him. So many different things that could have prevented that tragedy. But the biggest one, in my opinion, is hardening the schools, because they are soft targets for whichever nutbag decides next that they want to inflict harm.
Well, we talked yesterday with Robin Simcox from the Heritage Foundation about that New Mexico compound they were training school shooters at this New Mexico compound, and those 11 children were found down there, and I think it was 5 adults were released on bail. I mean, it is a weird world out there right now, and the stories that are out there in reality would make you think that you have every reason to go overboard on security for a school. If you're going to be excessive with security anywhere, Make it be a school. And if you do it and you make it, a norm, the kids aren't going to really think much about it. But if these kids, they see the headlines, they see the television. There have been many a time where I've been having the news on in my living room, and my kids walk in, and I have to hurry and try to change the channel because I just don't want them to see what's going on. But they know at least something about it. It's silly to me to think that in the extra effort that the left will try to emphasize on gun control, that we wouldn't at least match that with security in our school system. And when you look at the Parkland shooting and you see how many opportunities they had to put this he's a man, he was a boy, put this man away, so that he couldn't hurt anyone else and he couldn't hurt himself. They had that opportunity. They passed on the opportunity.
They did. Yeah.
And look what happened. So if you had people in that school that would have been willing to defend the school and defend the children and not run away from the problem, if you had systems that would have, at some point, if some guy's going to try to get into the school and do something crazy like that, is one metal detector going to stop him? No, not necessarily. You have to have the resources, the human resources there to stop this from happening. And the whole gun control conversation is really frustrating to me because it really is, in my opinion, many times a political, ZQL dose. How do you sleep at night when it comes to talking about gun control and understanding the reality that exists out there when you see kids shooting kids in schools? It's you can't even understand it. You can't even put it in your head. So what you try to do, everybody wants to do something, and gun control is the easiest thing to do because it's a law. You pass a law, you feel good about yourself, you say you did something, and when the next something happens, and there will be another something. That's the sickest part of all of this. There will be something this year. There will probably be multiple somethings this year. And at least those politicians who are fighting for gun control can sleep at night knowing that they tried to do something. In my mind, that's cowardly.
It is.
The right thing to do is what will truly protect the kids. And there's a sensible way to do it. And to not do it at this point in time, I think, it's malfeasance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've had that same conversation, that same concern when my youngest has walked into the room when the news is on about one of these shootings. And I know they have intruder drills and they have all that stuff, but it's just simple. I would bet you if you got a random group, just stopped a random group of 50 parents and asked them when the last time was they attended their school board meeting. I'll bet you wouldn't. I'll bet there wouldn't be 2 or 3 out of a group of 50 that had ever gone to a school board meeting.
Yeah,
unless they showed up.
They wouldn't even know where they occur.
No, sure. And those are the questions that need to be asked, Annie. People need to go to their school board where their superintendent is sitting there, and they need to ask this question. What have you done differently since the last school shooting to protect my kid? Don't point to guns. Don't blame it on society. What have you done to harden this school from the standpoint of more security? More people on the property that have the ability to fight back somehow. It's not enough just to bolt the doors to the classroom and hope somebody doesn't shoot them up. You need to take more concrete steps. And until they can give those answers, you're right. We're going to continue to see more and more of these because it's a target of opportunity. That's what it comes down to.
Your son was in high school, I would assume, when he was doing those drills. My kindergartner did them last year. Try explaining that to when your kindergartner walks home. I mean, I was shocked when she told me, when they said, I asked him how school was, and I had a kindergartner and a second grader. And they said, we had some drills today. And I said, oh, what kind of drills? And they said, we did a tornado drill and a fire drill and I can't remember what they called it, but the way they explained it to me, it was in case there's a bad person in the school.
Right.
They don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They just know that there's a bad person and that they're supposed to go hide under a table in a classroom and be as quiet as they possibly can for as long as they need to while the bad person's in the school. It's terrifying. As a parent, it is absolutely terrifying. And you see, I've been watching this the Parkland shooter, or one of the victim's fathers, the one who stood up at that press conference with the president and was very aggressive in his efforts of saying that gun control isn't the way to go, but you better believe we need to do something here. He's still fighting, and he's still making a point that something needs to be done. A lot of these other people who are associated with the Parkland shooting are saying the same thing. So that the conversation is out there on both sides, and it's important that, just like most things when it comes to politics, it's important that you do go find where you can be a part of that actual conversation, not the one that occurs, with your friends on a Friday night over some appetizers at a pizza place. Something that actually is meaningful, and show up and be a part of that conversation, because that's the only way anything's ever going to change.
Yeah, it's true, and most people, like I said, they don't even know where the school board meets. But they got to have those conversations, and hopefully we can get a few more superintendents on and find out. I talked to the folks in Rockwood last year, and they had started a committee to look at this just before that shooting happened, so they were a little bit ahead of the curve in coming out with a proposal or ideas right after it happened. But it didn't include metal detectors, and I still think that's got to be part of if they can put me through a metal detector to get into Six Flags, they can put somebody through a metal detector to get into a school at a high school or a middle school. I think so.
Even the perception of security can be a deterrent
Sure.
for somebody who's looking for a soft target. We talk about this all the time. Gun-free zones are easy, and you advertise gun-free zones anymore that you show. Oh, there's nothing here to stop
The
you.
sign on the door, yeah.
That's not why they're putting the sign up. Certainly, that's not the reason. But unless that criminal or that crazy person's going to obey that, circle with that red line through it and the gun, unless they're going to obey that when they walk through the door, you might want to think twice about your policies.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know where it ends, but I'm hoping people have a few more of those conversations. We'll see. So I don't know if you paid. I'm assuming you probably covered this yesterday. This situation with Brennan, it's kind of been blowing up, and now they've got a letter to the editor today with these other security chiefs. I had Jim Talent on the show yesterday. He's got a security clearance. He is opposed to the idea of stripping them from everyone who had one who's no longer in government service, because he made the point about a couple of boards that he serves on, or advisory committees, like with Madeleine Albright and others, where they need access to some of this information. But he did seem to understand that in John Brennan's case, maybe in James Clapper's case, they've certainly gotten so political with it. He understood what the president did, it sounded to me like.
When President Trump walked into the Oval Office, he walked in there saying they were going to drain the swamp. I liken it to being around, I don't know, I grew up in the country, and we'd have hornets' nests, and you'd see two hornets flying around, and if you looked long enough, you'd find the nest. And when you leave the nest alone, you're only going to have those few that are outside of the nest that are buzzing around, and you might be able to swat one of those down. But if you go after the nest, you knock that nest down, you're going to have a mess of hornets around you, and they're all coming after you. That's the media right now, and the way that these former politicians and former government officials have blurred the line so much between where their government official tenure starts or stops and their media affiliations start, it's really hard to tell. And it's like, they want to say that they're all government official when the president comes after them, but they're still going to go on the MSNBCs and CNNs and spill their guts about how awful they think this president is. I have to ask myself, what are they doing that's good for the country? Because these guys think that they are the saviors of the country.
Sure.
That's what they think that they are. They think that they are going to go in front of a TV camera and they're going to, wow us all with all of their knowledge and their winks that say, just trust us, trust us. We don't trust you. That's why we elected President Trump. The reason he's there in the first place is because we're sick and tired of trusting people like you. Now, How does the president react to this? Is it no security clearance for anyone? I'm not so sure how all of that works and what the wisest thing is there. But I do know that President Trump has kicked a hornet's nest that's been plaguing Washington, D.C. for a while, and it's going to be dicey for quite some time for him.
Love that analogy. Very true, and anybody who's ever been stung by one of them knows the outcome.
Nasty.
It's true. It's nasty. Hey, Annie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. The Annie Fry Show, of course, noon to 3 right here on FM News Talk 97.1 at Annie Fry on Twitter. Check it out. Listen to NBC. They were fuming mad. Cut 26 there, Zach, for me. They were fuming mad when Brennan lost his security clearance because he was their source.
Unprecedented. President Trump tonight revoking the security clearance of one of his harshest critics, career intelligence official and former CIA director John Brennan, who's also an NBC News analyst.
He's also an NBC News analyst. But guess what? He's still an NBC News analyst. Nothing changed unless he was trading on his security clearance to get information he shouldn't have been sharing. What are they worried about? Nobody's First Amendment rights have been stomped on here, but somebody's income might have been impacted by it. 314-241-9797. We'll get to a break. I told you we have Dan Hayes coming up. We're going to talk about these school safety systems he's come up with. And in the next hour, Mark Lotter, former special assistant to the president and to the vice president, Mike Pence. He'll join us about 8:37. We'll be right back.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company, on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur, and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. Number one in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. Hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at LincolnPowersports.com.
Hey, I hope you have the opportunity to tune in here on the radio station on Sundays at 3 for Wellness 101. You get to listen to Dr. T.J. Williams and his staff members and guests talk about functional medicine and the future of healthcare. Every Sunday, they tell you how to get healthy and how to stay healthy. Here's the thing. They realize that masking symptoms is not the answer. You have to get to the cause of it. It's that simple. And that's not an easy process. You have to listen to what's going on with people, uncover the root of the problem, use cutting-edge treatments to get people healthy, let them stay healthy, and then you're not stuck taking a pill for the rest of your life. It affects a lot of things, right? Hormone imbalances, ADHD, headaches, anxiety, depression, digestive problems, autoimmune disease, the list goes on and on. If you suffer from any of that and a pill has been the answer, go see Dr. TJ. Set your appointment today, 314-293-8123, theinstituteofnaturalhealth.com.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. 12 former intelligence officials, including 6 CIA directors, have co-signed a letter saying President Trump was wrong to strip former CIA Director John Brennan of his security clearance. Brennan's been publicly critical of the president.
2 of the signees, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and former CIA Director Michael Hayden, may also have their security clearances revoked. The letter addressed to the president said the Brennan decision has nothing to do with who should and should not hold security clearances and everything to do with an attempt to stifle free speech.
Fox's John Decker. Vatican reaction to a Pennsylvania grand jury report finding more than 300 priests abused more than 1,000 kids since the 1940s.
We can express our feelings about these horrible crimes in 2 words. Those are shame and sorrow.
Spokesman Greg Burke says victims should know Pope Francis is on their side. Fox News. We report, you decide.
97.1 News Time, 7:31. It's 74 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer. A staff member for Illinois Republican U.S. Representative Rodney Davis was arrested at a campaign event for Davis's opponent. Levi Lovell's been charged with felony aggravated battery after he allegedly got into a physical altercation at a fundraiser for Betsy Dirksen Londrigan in Springfield. Davis's campaign manager says Lovell has been fired. A pedestrian bridge near downtown St. Louis will be torn down over the weekend. MoDOT officials say starting tonight at 8, they'll shut down all lanes of I-44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandeventer. All eastbound lanes should reopen by 5 Saturday night. The westbound lanes will reopen by 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet in Ferguson today. It's part of her ongoing effort to discuss the importance of health care. The event will be held at 1 this afternoon on South Florissant and will be focused on protecting Missourians with pre-existing conditions. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night. They host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. 97.1 News Time, 7:32.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Accident reported in the city, Jameson at Arsenal, and we've got a lot of volume on the Poplar Street Bridge. Illinois drivers, it's a jam for you today from the King Bridge split across the Poplar. Then westbound 6440 is slow, and that's west of Kings Highway. That goes all the way out through Big Bend. Eastbound, most of the volume is 270. Just through Ballas, and then it looks a little bit better. Southbound 270 jamming through the construction zone at Dorset. We've got eastbound 270 lined up at 170. Westbound is slow in pockets, 367 through West Florissant. And northbound 270 stop and go pockets anywhere from 21 through Manchester. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 7:33.
Watch the Marc Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Mention the code word SAVAGE for a super secret squirrel savings on things that we're not supposed to put on sale.
Did you tell them we have 511 and Oakley tactical gear?
I did not.
You can save an average of $447 when you switch to auto insurance through AAA. Visit AAA.com/insurance to see how much you could save. Get your free quote at AAA.com/insurance today.
The $1,000 political payoff.
Hey, your keyword this hour is
tall.
Text the word
tall
to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win the $1,000 political payoff. Would you like to use that in a sentence, Denise?
I like your sentence.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Denise Schaefer.
You're going to come up with a different one now, aren't you?
No. Denise Schaefer is a tall drink of water.
Aw,
isn't that sweet?
Thanks, Mark.
314. Yeah, that's it. I was going to give you her phone number. I'm just kidding. Tall to 72881. Message and data rates apply. It's a national contest. Keep listening Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for more chances to win. For complete rules, visit 971talk.com/rules. Hey, the folks over at Lore Wine and Spirits have introduced St. Louis to something called Devil's River Whiskey, and you need to try it out. In fact, the man who runs the company is going to join us here in the studio just a little later this hour, so hope you can stick around for that. This is great. The Devil's River stuff is fantastic. Really, it's a small batch is what it comes down to, and it makes a huge difference, right? They use a high rye, they dial back the corn, they double up on the rye, and what you end up with is a deep caramel color. It's a little peppery. You detect the vanilla and the nutmeg in there. I mean, if you're into whiskey, if you appreciate small batch whiskey, you need to try Devil's River. It's made down in Texas, made with some of that limestone spring water they have down there that's naturally filtered, and it's been awarded 5 times as one of the best bourbons 10 years and younger, but in competitions across the country. Listen, you can find it at a lot of places right now, Deerberg's, Total Wine and more, many fine restaurants across St. Louis. It retails for around $27, $28 a bottle, somewhere in that. Drink responsibly. Try Devil's River Whiskey.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jay Omis with Better Sleep STL. Most people are unaware that breathing disorders can affect children as well as adults. Mouth breathing and the lack of proper sleep can have negative effects on a child's development, performance in school, extracurricular activities, and social relationships. Signs and symptoms in children may include snoring or heavy breathing, difficulty falling asleep at night or staying awake during the day, ADHD-type mood behavior, recurrent ear infections, crooked teeth, and even bedwetting. The good news is there are early treatment options available to remedy pediatric sleep disorders, including permanent corrective dental treatments, allowing your child to get a better night's rest and a healthy start in their development. In addition, my office is one of just a few facilities certified in the safest, most effective treatments to naturally promote pediatric airway growth and development. For more information, please contact me today at 636-978-0226 or visit healthystartusa.com to schedule your child's complimentary evaluation.
Marc Cox. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Follow the show on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Marc Cox Show.
Whoever told you that is probably smoking something that's legal in my state, but not in most states.
That's the Marc Cox Morning Show bite of the day. Mad Dog Matt is saying, whoever's told you that is smoking something. He was talking about the supposed cost overruns on this military appreciation parade that they had planned for D.C., that they're now going to move off to 2019 sometime, but he said it's not going to cost as much as they've been told. So we'll see. I thought that was pretty funny. Hey, right now I want to welcome in Dan Hayes. Dan's joining us. He is helped develop a school safety system to work with local school districts and first responders. That's the key part of this. Part of a bigger plan, right, to take care of these sorts of things. Dan is with the Progressive Resources. Dan, how are you?
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for giving me some time. You know, Jim Lemke called in the other day, the former Missouri senator, and he mentioned that he had been meeting with you and talking about this. Tell me what it's all about as part of a more comprehensive strategy of protecting our children.
Well, Jim's a good man. I've known him for a long time. Our kids went to school together. But, yeah, Jim was also my state senator. Now Senator Scott Sipton is my state senator. And I've been knocking on doors really for years talking about the system that I developed. And the system was based really on work with some really good people in public safety in the St. Louis region. I think some of them you know. There's one chief I'd like to recognize, Chief Greg Brown in Eureka.
Sure.
Who he was instrumental in getting this thing started. And really, it's been about 10 years, frankly, that we've been working on this thing on and off. I had a consulting business working on databases and helping companies organize their content. And I was fortunate to have as a customer Eureka, and Greg Brown saw this demo application that I have. It's a web application. And he said, this really could potentially be used for mutual aid. And the system is simply a way to find things quickly without searching. And I called it the Find Engine because I didn't want to call it the anti-search engine, but that's really what it is. It's just a nice big filing cabinet to find things quickly. So with Chief Brown's help, we also met with Chief Larry Boyle from Fenton Fire Protection District, and Chief Boyle is now retired. But with the two of them, we just met with all kinds of people in public safety and developed a system that they could use to take the place of their paper records. A way to find their responders, based on their credentials. An organizational director to keep track of locations. A list of teams and the resources the teams have, the equipment they use. And all of it was just linked in one place so that they could go to one screen, and an emergency manager or a chief could find what he needs without looking very quickly. So that really was the genesis of the whole thing.
So it would come in handy. I'm guessing. Let's just heaven forbid there's a call of an intruder at an elementary school in this particular area. with the push of a button accessing this system, they immediately know who the school resource officer is, who the principal is, that sort of thing for these schools?
Yes, that's what it evolved to. It took time, but it was really Larry Boyle who said, I've got these safety plans from the school districts that Fenton serves, and one we worked with is Rockwood. Rockwood has really, really good plans. They're very complete, but I think they still are on paper. They were on paper at the time we were doing this. And so Chief Boyle said, can we just take this information and put it online?
Sure.
So we took their paper plans and put it into a relational database, and then we were able also to add pictures. Like you say, here's a picture of the principal. Here's a crisis team that the responders would meet with if there is an incident, and here are their pictures. And then floor plans. Here's a picture of the site. Here are the floor plans for each floor.
Well,
so
yes. You referred to Rockwood. I actually had Dr. Knost on here back in the spring talking to him about their crisis plan that they came out with. They'd already been working on updating it in a school safety plan. I assume this is one portion of it. I mean, I see a need for something much more extensive than on top of this, including a piece like this for first responders that includes more from the school security side, hardening these schools, making it more difficult for people to get in, making sure there are more resource officers there who are armed, making sure that maybe there are metal detectors, whatever it takes. We need to make these less appealing targets.
You're absolutely right. A safety plan is just one part of the whole comprehensive strategy. You're absolutely right. What we experienced in building this application and demoing it in St. Louis is that at the same time we were trying to sell our system, there were many other systems on the market that were being funded by Homeland Security grants.
Okay.
And so we just came to the point where we couldn't compete. As an entrepreneur, my business plan was not to compete with IBM. You have to admit that's kind of a pretty stupid.
Right.
Stupid
No, it makes sense. Right.
So that's really what happened. We just faced so many things that we thought we were close to having a breakthrough, but then the response was, well, we've already got something like this. And so the point is there are a lot of systems out there, but several of the things that Missouri has promoted over the years have really just gone away. They were funded by grants, and they weren't necessarily bad systems. They were just complicated to use. They had very specialized purposes, and when the grants were spent, they went away. So in some ways, there's a need for, there's more of a need now for a common platform than it was years ago.
Yeah. No, I would agree, and hopefully they can move in that direction. Dan Hayes, is there a place people can go to find out more about your system?
I will say they can call me on my phone. I'd be happy to talk to anybody who wants to have more information on this.
Okay, go ahead.
It's 314-807-6129.
All right, and if anybody reaches out to us, we'll be sure and forward their information to you.
Mark, appreciate it very much.
You bet, Dan. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Good. I wanted to find out what this is all about. So there are. This is one aspect of it, right? But there's got to be a lot more. That's my only point. Is there needs to be more to this. That's what they need to work on. All right. I need to get to a break. 314-241-9797, and you can call us down here toll free at 866-455-9797. What say you? We've got Hans von Spakovsky coming up at the top of the hour. Hans is going to be talking about this cake baker out in Colorado who went all the way to the Supreme Court and won when they tried to shut him down, and now they're attacking him again. And we'll find out what that's all about. Plus, we'll get to your phone calls coming up.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
97.1 News Time, 7:46. It's 74 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet in Ferguson today, where she'll discuss the importance of health care and protecting those with pre-existing conditions. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt two suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night, and they host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. This report brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Order Buffalo Wild Wings takeout pack for draft night. Get 50 wings, a party-size side, and a party-size shareable. While supplies last, get a free draft kit with your order. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. 97.1 News Time, 7:46. It's 74 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
We've got a lot of volume for Illinois drivers this morning on the Poplar Street Bridge. No surprise there. It's from the King Bridge split across the Poplar. Westbound 6440 is lined up this morning. It's pretty slow between Kings Highway and Big Bend. Also a little off the pace at Spady. Eastbound drivers slow at Timberlake Manor. 270 through Ballas, a little bit through Spady as well. Then it's slow again, 170 through Big Bend. Eastbound 44 drivers slow at Laclede Station Road where the construction begins. Northbound 270 stop and go pockets 21 on up through Manchester. Southbound is heavy and slow through the construction zone at Dorset. Westbound 270, most of the volume is 367 through Washington Elizabeth. Eastbound, though, is slow at 170 as well. And crews were working with an accident at Jameson at Arsenal. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 7:48.
You know what? For many years, I snored and didn't know it. I mean, sometimes your partner tells you about that, and sometimes they just suffer in silence. Well, I went to get checked out, and sure enough, I suffer from sleep apnea. And to do that, you have to go through a specific sleep test to have that determined. The Clayton Sleep Institute is the place I want to recommend for you because they treat a full range of adult sleep disorders. Maybe it's sleep apnea like I had, where I was cutting off the air supply to my brain, basically stopping breathing 30, 40 times an hour. I could never get into that deep sleep, which is so important to a restful night's sleep. Clayton Sleep can help you with that. They're there to help because it's their slogan, better sleep, better life. That's what it means. But your problem may not be sleep apnea. Maybe you can't sleep. It's insomnia. Maybe it's narcolepsy. Maybe it's restless leg syndrome. All of these things are out there. The Clayton Sleep Institute is accredited by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. That's important. That's the national body that sets the standards and examines sleep clinics. So go talk to Dr. Ojai. Make your appointment today. Let them help you get a better night's sleep like I'm getting these days. 314-645-5855 or just go to their website, claytonsleep.com.
Don't get stuck in neutral. Shift your retirement plan into overdrive with Your Retirement Highway with Ken Heisey and Steve Muller from the Heisey Advisory Group. Saturday nights at 7 on FM News Talk 97.1.
When I was working up the street, I knew that it was going to be a challenge when I had customers coming in from Diamonds Direct.
Diamond expert Michael Clavina used to work for an old-school jewelry retailer, and he really hated it when a customer came in after shopping at Diamonds Direct.
I knew that they had looked at diamonds that were of a higher quality at a very competitive price, and I knew I was in for a fight.
Michael knew he couldn't beat Diamonds Direct on quality or price, so he had to resort to other tactics.
What we would do is get the customer to doubt the place that they were buying from, because if you can attack the business, the trust goes away. Instead of offering a better product at a better price, the goal would be to instill some kind of doubt about Diamonds Direct as a business.
But smart shoppers didn't fall for that approach. And like most of his customers, Michael knew he had to make the switch to Diamonds Direct.
The reason it was such a tough fight with Diamonds Direct was because they were running a superior business.
Diamonds Direct.
Now that I'm here, there's so much more access to a higher quality diamond at a lower price.
Olive and 270 at City Place.
Hi, Sean Long for STL Fenceworks. The secret formula to our success is the marriage of quality products and workmanship with next-level service unseen in our industry, all at a competitive price. These are characteristics that informed and diligent customers seek out, and our competitors cannot duplicate. When you think vinyl fence, think STL Fenceworks. We custom fabricate our own vinyl fence and gates to meet your needs. When you think aluminum and steel ornamental fence, think STL Fence Works. We purchase truckload quantities, passing the savings on to you. Decks? STL Fence Works is the largest wholesaler of Wolf cellular PVC decking products in the Midwest. Wolf has proven to exceed the quality and warranty of any other synthetic decking product, and our craftsmen will bring your vision to life. STL Fence Works is the confluence of quality, service, and affordability. That's value. Give us the opportunity, and we will exceed your expectations. At STL Fence Works, your satisfaction is our passion.
Dependable weather.
A pleasant start out the door this morning.
With Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service. Get 0% financing for 12 to 72 months on a new AC or HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com. The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This hour, Making America Great, brought to you by Proctor Drapery, Blind, Shades, and Shutters. Making your home great again. ProctorDrapery.com. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
Tell you a story about the house went blue. I come home one Friday, had to tell the landlady I done lost my job. She said, that don't confront me.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Nice music selection there, buddy. I appreciate the little George Thorogood to get the blood pumping this morning.
Yeah, thought it was
That's
appropriate
awesome.
for our next guest.
That's right. Hey, we're proud to have Michael Cameron in the studio with us. He is the proprietor, the president and chief operating officer of Devil's River Whiskey. You've heard me talk about it earlier. The folks at Lore Wine and Spirits have brought that to the St. Louis area. Mike, how are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry we don't have your mic up here.
There we go.
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
There we go. That's awesome. Hey, did anybody tell you that in your promotional photo you look like that guy in the commercial, The World's Most Interesting Man, when you're leaning through the window there? You really
Hopefully
do.
a younger version.
You just need a cigar in one hand, and no kidding. This Devil's River product though is something that the Devil's River Whiskey is sort of a passion for you. You've been working on this for a number of years, haven't you?
I have. I went down to the Devil's River is an actual place in far South Texas.
Okay.
And it's the purest water, they say, in the United States. Texas Parks and Wildlife uses it as a benchmark for purity, the water down there. It's
wow.
Limestone filtered throughout Central and South Texas, and I harvest water from the southern end of the Devil's River and haul it up to Dallas where we make it.
Oh, nice. And you're building a new facility and all that good stuff, right?
We are. We're building a brand new facility in downtown San Antonio along the Riverwalk. And we'll, open for tourism and tastings, and we're going to be producing about 3 barrels a day out of that facility.
When you talk about being a small batch brewing facility, what does that mean?
Small batch is a category of about when you select and bottle, it's about 125 barrels of whiskey. Now, that sounds like a lot, but in the big scheme of things, I think there's now 1.5 barrels of bourbon for every citizen of Kentucky in the state of Kentucky now. So 125 is not too many.
It's just such a bourbon and whiskey. This thing has just exploded in recent years. It used to be just a pastime for people, a hobby occasionally, and now it's a passion. I can't believe there are websites dedicated to getting your hands on the latest bottle that's available. You're right in the middle of all that.
It's a great time to be in the business, absolutely. Yeah. It's something that's been around for hundreds of years. The thing I like about bourbon specifically is it belongs to the United States. Congress established in May of 1964 a law that defined that bourbon is a U.S.-owned name and spirit. So we own bourbon. You can't make bourbon anywhere else in the world except the United States.
And isn't there an age limit? Doesn't it have to be aged a certain number of years to be called bourbon? Is that what it is, or is it from the state of Kentucky? Or
that's not. No, there's a lot of myths about that.
Yeah.
It does have to be aged in new American white oak barrels, which our barrels come from Missouri.
Okay,
independent state here,
yeah.
And so American white oak, and it's got to be charred, and it's got to be 51% corn, and it's got to be distilled at no more than 160 proof. It's got to be put in the barrel at no more than 125 proof and bottled at no less than 80 proof. Those are all requirements of bourbon.
Oh, wow. So I joked with you earlier that one time I tried to get a home brewing kit and make some beer. And at the end of that 2-month-long process. So I ended up with a little less than 2 cases of beer that I bottled myself. I had beer all over the floor from trying to siphon it into the bottle. I mean, at the end, I just decided it'd be cheaper to buy it than to try to make it.
Probably a good lesson to
you
learn
almost need to be a chemist to put together a good brew. How did you do that? Tell me how you did this with Devil's River.
A lot of research. Michigan State University actually has a distilling program now. That was one of the schools that I attended.
Okay.
Out in California, there were some courses, a lot of online, a lot of reading old books that were in German that I had to get converted. There was a lot of different places I got sourced. Probably one of the most beneficial was I found a master distiller, a true master distiller. There's only about 100 in the whole world. And this gentleman I worked with for about 6 months, and just kind of a crash course in distilling. Was connected at his hip for 6 months, and just wore him out with questions, and he really taught me a lot.
Well, the result is pretty fantastic. And I said earlier in my spot when I did one for you that you can kind of get a little bit of a peppery flavor in there, a little bit of vanilla. I mean, you can really detect these. I mean, it must have taken a while to get the exact right recipe to get that out of there.
Yes, absolutely. What gives you the different taste nuances is the yeast. You can have 5 or 6 different mash bills lined up and different yeast, and you'll have 6 or 7 different taste profiles. Yeast is the key. Inside yeast strains are what's called excuse me.
That's all right.
Esters.
Okay.
And within esters are flavor profiles, and that's where you're talking about your cinnamon, your honey, your caramel, your pepper. And those different esters are within different strains of yeast. So we propagate our own yeast, which means it's our proprietary strain, and it's our formula. And you're right, we went through probably 30 different strains of yeast before we settled in on this.
Well, I know the Devil's River is going to be, there are going to be some tastings coming up at Deerberg's and Shop and Save grocery stores, and those are going to be today and tomorrow across St. Louis, so people need to look for more information on that. And I appreciate you going to be attending some of those?
I have been here for a couple of days doing those. I've got to fly back out this evening, but I'll be back in the great state of Missouri. Missouri's been great to us. We are in already 200 locations across the state, and we've been here since early June. So it's been very well accepted here, and we really appreciate you guys giving it a try.
Outstanding. That is Mike Cameron. He's the president, CEO of Devil's River Whiskey. Try it today. I mentioned Deerberg, Shop and Save, dirt cheap. A lot of people carrying it in St. Louis right now.
They are. We've won 5 gold medals, which is fantastic also, and we are $23.99 at average retail.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Kevin and Dave here from Mentality, St. Louis. Dave, what are the most common benefits your patients tell you they feel from low T treatment?
The first thing they notice is the energy. Start having the zest to get back into action with work, the family, being involved in their communities. And then after that, they start to notice how they feel and look better when they go to the gym and work out.
What I love about testosterone treatment being covered by insurance in our St. Louis Mentality office, it puts cost of care within reach of every guy. To find out more, go to lowtusa.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
The Marc Cox Show, brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of The Marc Cox Show.
Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox. FM News Talk, 97.1.
A radio.com station.
President Trump says he canceled the big military parade he had called for. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. He just tweeted about it. The morning after news broke, the parade was going to be delayed amid a report it cost $92 million, something Defense Secretary Mattis disputed.
Whoever told you that is probably smoking something that's legal in my state, but not in most states.
Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
The president tweeting, "I will instead attend the big parade already scheduled at Andrews Air Force Base on a different date and go to the Paris parade celebrating the end of the war on November 11th. He continued, "Maybe we will do something next year in D.C. when the cost comes way down. Now we can buy some more jet fighters." President Trump blamed local politicians in Washington for wanting a number so ridiculously high. Dave?
John, a retired Navy admiral oversaw the Osama bin Laden raid, is asking President Trump to revoke his security clearance, saying it would be an honor. William McRaven, like John Brennan, is critical of the president, saying he's embarrassed and humiliated us as a nation. A dozen other former senior intelligence officers wrote a joint letter calling revoking Brennan's clearance unprecedented, intending to stifle free speech. Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, told Fox ex-CIA Director Brennan deserved having his clearance revoked.
You see all the corruption that was at the tippy-top level of the FBI and the DOJ in the last administration when they were so desperate to prop up a failing and weak, pathetic candidate. They're trying to dig up dirt.
A police officer's in critical condition in Phoenix, Arizona. So is the person who shot him last night.
There was a traffic stop. As the officer gets out of the car, he is fired upon by the suspect. He is able to return fire and stop the threat.
Police Chief Jerry Williams. It's cheaper to become a doctor, at least in one place. New York University is going to offer free tuition at its medical school for all students. It had been $55,000 a year. It'll still be costly. Room and board and other expenses amount to about $29,000 a year. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice to have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time, 8:03. I'm Denise Schaefer. Here's the official AccuWeather forecast. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. Some spot showers around, high of 88. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 72. Partly sunny, warm and humid this weekend. High of 87 on Saturday and 88 on Sunday. It's 76 degrees right now. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. The lawsuit cites concerns at the Clinton Peabody housing complex, alleging problems that include rodent infestations, mold, and structural failures. Hawley says the problems have been evident for quite a long time but have not been resolved. Within a year, large interactive kiosks could be available around St. Louis. They would offer free Wi-Fi, directions to local businesses and attractions, public transit maps, and emergency alert functions to pedestrians who pass by on the sidewalk. The St. Louis Development Corporation will issue a request for proposals to select a smart kiosk and appoint a selection committee to evaluate proposals. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt 2 suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. The Ethical Society of Police is demanding action after reports that one of the suspects suffered a minor injury. The officer is a 16-year veteran and could face disciplinary action. Senator Claire McCaskill will host a meet and greet in Ferguson today. It's part of her ongoing effort to discuss the importance of health care. The event will be held at 1 this afternoon on South Florissant and will be focused on protecting Missourians with pre-existing conditions. This report brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms. 97.1 News Time, 8:04. It's 76 degrees. In sports, the Cardinals' 8-game winning streak is over after losing to the Nationals 5-4 at Busch Stadium last night. Starter Luke Weaver allowed 4 runs on 7 hits in 3+ innings, and Tyson Ross allowed 1 unearned run in 3+ innings of relief. Harrison Bader hit a home run, and the Cardinals fell 5 games behind the National League Central leading Cubs. They host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. This report brought to you by Community Mortgage, lending with extraordinary service. Call Michael Mohan at 314-336-6000 or visit communitymortgagestl.com. 97.1 News Time, 8:05. It's 76 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Well, the rain has moved off, but we are left with some volume on the roads this morning. Westbound 270, still a little off the pace at West Florissant. Eastbound is slowing at Lindbergh. Southbound 170, look for a slow go just south of Olive, between Olive and the Forest Park Parkway. We could have a stall through there. It's a slow go behind it. Southbound 270 is slow at Dorset, and northbound is stacked up. Now, this isn't a solid jam, but you'll find a slow go anywhere between Gravois and Manchester. Westbound 6440 drivers, it's still pretty slow for you from Kings Highway on out through Big Bend. Eastbound, just some slow pockets between 270 and Big Bend, then it's not too bad. Westbound 44, a little slow through the construction zone west of Grand. Eastbound is lining up, and that's right around Laclede Station Road, and still heavy volume for drivers on the Poplar. Traffic brought to you by RP Lumber. Best service, best value. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 8:06.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
It's 8:06 and 76 degrees, and FM News Talk 97.1 is now available on radio.com. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Protecting our families means putting sexual predators behind bars. Here's 14-year Missouri police detective Beth Neeland.
As a police detective, I've known the victims and I've seen the devastation caused by sexual assault. In Missouri, many of these cases go unsolved because of the backlog of untested rape kits. Attorney General Josh Hawley uncovered thousands of these untested rape kits. They contain the DNA evidence to bring these sexual predators to justice. Josh Hawley is fighting for our victims, and he's helping us get these violent criminals off our streets.
Protect your family and your community. Call Attorney General Josh Hawley at 573-751-3321 and urge him to keep fighting for funding and working with law enforcement to catch sexual predators. Get them off our streets and get justice for victims. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
You hear Thomas Helbig on here all the time from the Retirement Advisory Group. Oftentimes we get together once a quarter and we sit down at one of his Protecting Your Retirement educational events. And Marc Cox and I attend those, and we talk to folks. A lot of the folks that listen to this radio station attend these. They're near retirement. They have questions they don't feel maybe that their financial advisor has answered on what happens if a month before I retire, the market, tumbles. Nobody knows when that's going to happen. You hope it doesn't happen, but it's at all-time highs, or at least in that ballpark. Thomas will sit down with you and give you alternatives. He'll help you look at strategies that help you build an income in retirement that is dependable, that is steady, that's not necessarily dependent on the ups and downs of the market. You might take advantage of the gains. You don't get hurt when there are losses. That's what he's doing for you. So call him up, set an appointment. It's free. They're going to come in, no strings attached. He'll show you these strategies, and if you'd like to work with him, he'd be happy to talk to you about that. Call him at 855-755-1555, 1555, 855-755-1555, or go to his website at retirementkey.com.
Dear beloved home, over our years, we've experienced many of life's changes together. Our lives have changed, and we've made changes to you as well. Now, as we pulled into our driveway at the end of a long day, we had noticed it was time for a makeover. Exteriors by Mosby provided us a broad range of options for new windows and siding that let us love your outside as much as we love your inside. With Exteriors by Mosby, we're taking as good care of you as you care for us.
Call 909-8383 or visit exteriorsbymosby.com. Exteriors by Mosby. Home never felt so good.
What's your favorite Sugar Creek wine or Missouri wine? Is it the Vidal Blanc? Is it the Chardonnay? Maybe, maybe you like something that's a bit drier. Maybe the La Rustica White or the Bird Legs Blush. They have all of these that they grow the grapes. They ferment them. They make the wine right out at Sugar Creek Winery in Defiance. So let me recommend you go check it out because they're there from 11 to 6 every day. They've been there for the last 24 years. And Ken and Becky The owners have just done a tremendous job. You're going to enjoy meeting them. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on 97.1. You wanted to come out and spend the day with them. They're going to have live music this weekend. They're going to have the wood-fired pizza oven folks out there, so you don't even have to worry about bringing food. They've got all the drink you need. They've got shelters if you need to get in out of the sun or out of the rain if it rains. You'll love it. Sugar Creek Winery is beautiful. It's about 1.5 miles south of Defiance on the right-hand side. It sits up on the river bluff. They've got beautiful wedding venues up there. And if you book a wedding, it even comes with the assistance of a wedding planner to help you out. So go check it out. You'll love going there. It will become a favorite place, and it will become your go-to winery, I promise. Again, it's Sugar Creek Winery. Go to their website at sugarcreekwines.com.
Do you remember me?
Sure. You and your husband were moving to another home.
This is where we moved to.
It's beautiful.
Please, look at all the junk they left behind.
Point to what you would like to disappear, ma'am.
Well, let's start with that broken bird bath, that old swing set, and that nasty old yard furniture.
When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point.
And those broken tree limbs.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Follow Mark on Twitter at Marc Cox 97.1.
Well, we know he's the key guy. Remember what Peter Strzok told us just a few weeks ago in the open hearing. It took me to the third round of questioning, but he finally admitted, yes, the FBI was, in fact, getting parts of the dossier from Bruce Orr, a top Justice Department official. So step back and think about this for a second. Bruce Orr's wife worked for the firm that the Clintons hired to put together the dossier. She's given it to Bruce Orr. He's given it to the FBI. It is never supposed to work that way in the United States of America.
Congressman Jim Jordan there talking about this situation with the Steele dossier and how this all ended up being used in the FISA warrants. That investigation continues. And I've got Lindsey Graham has written a letter now to Chris Wray. We're going to talk about that coming up, about how this whole thing was handled, about why if people knew about Papadopoulos and Page ahead of time, why didn't they warn the Trump campaign? They warned Dianne Feinstein she might have a spy working on her staff, but they didn't warn the Trump people. All seems rather questionable, in my opinion. Anyway, coming up later, we're going to talk to Mark Lotter, so stick around for that. He's going to join us, former press secretary for Vice President Pence. So we'll get to that. But right now, let me get to our friend Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. We don't have him in the studio this time, but we're thrilled to have him on the phone. How are you?
Mark, I'm doing okay. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday to you, Hans. Thank you very much. You know, I wanted to have you on today. I read a story yesterday about the guy who was baking cakes out in Colorado who made it all the way to the Supreme Court because on the grounds of religious liberty, he said he didn't want to bake a cake for a gay wedding. He won. The Supreme Court said he didn't have to. So he goes back to Colorado, and lo and behold, the Civil Rights Commission comes after him again because this time he refused to bake a cake for a transgender celebration, I think is the best way to put it.
No, that's exactly right. And the Colorado Civil Rights Commission is really proving the truth of what the Supreme Court said about them. Look, the Supreme Court overturned and threw out their earlier decision against the Baker, the Masterpiece Baker case, because they said that the Colorado Commission showed hostility towards the religious beliefs of this baker. I mean, members of the commission were actually comparing him to people who defended slavery and people who denied the Holocaust. And because of that, they overturned the earlier decision. Well, you know, here basically the commission is thumbing its nose at the U.S. Supreme Court, and they go after the baker again in exactly the same way.
Yeah, I guess I kind of thought, wrongly obviously, that after he took it all the way to the court, this commission would kind of get the message and back off and say, listen, clearly the court believes that you have the right, if you're consistent in it and you've proven consistently that you have an issue based on your religion with performing a certain service, that you don't have to. But that's not the case, because it almost seems like he's being targeted now. Is that your impression?
Oh, yeah, it's very clearly that he's being targeted. In fact, listen, the complaint was filed by a lawyer, and the lawyer filed the complaint with the Colorado Civil Rights Commission on the very same day that the Masterpiece Cake case was accepted by the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, let me tell you, this is all intentional. And, what it has forced the baker to do is his lawyers have had to file another new federal lawsuit against the Colorado Commission. I hope, frankly, that they not only win the case, but I hope that they get contempt citations against the members of this commission, and I hope that the commission members get fined for ignoring the Supreme Court decision.
So I'm assuming that could come from a lower court, couldn't it?
It certainly could, and I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, and hopefully it wouldn't have to take as long. I mean, the last one took like 5 or 6 years to get to the Supreme Court. Meantime, this guy's almost went out of business, which seems to be their goal.
Oh, I think that is exactly the goal. Look, you can see this. This is the trend all over the country. Progressives, left-wing organizations trying to silence anybody who disagrees with them on issues and trying to drive them out of business.
Wow. Well, I appreciate the update on that. You cleared up some of the legalese of what's going on, and hopefully people open their eyes and expose this so-called Civil Rights Commission in Colorado for what it really is. That's the truth. Hey, Hans, listen, we're going to be in D.C. in early September. I'm hoping we'll get a chance to catch up with you.
No, I'm hoping to see you again.
Good deal, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hans von Spakovsky there with the Heritage Foundation. We're going to be there for the Federation for American Immigration Reform Radio Row this year, right after Labor Day. And we're going to hopefully get Genevieve Wood and maybe Hans to come over and stop and see us at the hotel there in D.C.
That'd be awesome.
That'll be good. We're hoping to get them on the air. It'll be fun stuff. All right, let me get to a break. 314-241-9797.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
97.1 News Time, 8:18. It's 76 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. MoDOT officials will close all lanes of I-44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandeventer this weekend to tear down a pedestrian bridge. A staff member for Illinois Republican U.S. Representative Rodney Davis was arrested at a campaign event for Davis's opponent after allegedly getting into a physical altercation. An internal affairs investigation is underway after claims that a St. Louis police officer purposely tried to hurt two suspects by giving them a rough ride in a police vehicle. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night, and they host the Brewers tonight at 7:15. This report brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. This on you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms. 97.1 News Time, 8:18. It's 76 degrees.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Well, Illinois drivers, still a jam for you on the Poplar Street Bridge this morning. Westbound 55-64, slow from just about Route 3 across the bridge itself. Southbound 170, some slow-moving traffic at Del Mar. Northbound a little bit off the pace at Highway 70. Westbound 70 drivers slow at Jennings Station. Southbound 270, that jam is just south of the Rock Road through the construction zone at Dorset. Northbound is stacked up, mainly 44 on up through the Clayton Road overpass. Eastbound 6440 drivers, the volume for you is east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Then it looks better. Westbound, though, is still slow from Hampton out through McCausland. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 8:19.
My entire life, I'll have to admit, I've been one of those guys when I walked onto a car dealer's lot, I was a little suspicious, right, of the motivation of the person who wanted to sell me this car or that one. You never know, what kind of commission they're getting on this. Dave Sinclair, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, decided to do things differently based on reaction he had gotten from his customers. So he now has non-commissioned salespeople. Takes the pressure off of you, takes the pressure off the salesperson, right? Whether they sell $10,000, $25,000 cars or $10,000 cars, they've got their cash, right? They're making their money. They've got their salary. I'm sure there are bonuses, but still, that's a great thing. You don't see that at a lot of car dealers these days. They'll give you an upfront appraisal on your trade. You're going to meet a manager when you arrive. It might even be Dave. Because they want you to not be dealing with some mystery man in the back office or mystery woman when it comes time to negotiate your deal. All of these things make a huge difference. And if it's important to you, there's only one place to go. That's Dave Sinclair, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram down in Pacific. You buy a new car from them, you get a lifetime limited powertrain warranty, the best in the business. You don't have to have it serviced just to Dave Sinclair as long as you get it serviced. That's why it's the best in the business. Huge differences here. Just off I-44 in Pacific, one exit from Six Flags, minutes from anywhere. And it's easy to get to. It's well worth the drive. Check him out online at davesinclairdodge.com.
Hi, I've got a question about Schnucks Rewards. How do I start?
Oh, it's easy. First, download Schnucks Rewards from your app store and create an account. Then, you're ready to earn points every time you check out.
And when those points add up, I can...
redeem them for money off. Oh, yes.
Nice. What else does it do?
You can search for items, refill prescriptions, check the weekly ad.
Okay, stop right there. That's all I can take.
Shop, earn, redeem. Download Schnucks Rewards from your app store.
I'm Jim Evinger with Renew Sleep Solutions. I'm on the phone with JB. Describe your sleep before coming in.
It's scary. When you wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air, kind of get scared to go back to sleep.
How are you sleeping now?
I have a peace of mind when I go to bed, and also reduce my snoring. My wife happy with that as well.
Are you ready to stop snoring and treat your sleep apnea? Call 314-279-9000. That's 314-279-9000. Or go to renewsleep.com to learn more.
You lead a busy lifestyle, and it's important to remain cool and confident when making that big presentation, negotiating a deal, or just hanging out with friends. You can with Miradry from Ridenour Plastic Surgery. Miradry is an FDA-approved device that permanently eliminates underarm sweat safely with no downtime. Stay confident and active without fear of underarm sweat. Call Ridenour at 314-878-8600 to get started. Ridenour knows confidence is sexy, confidence is beautiful. 878-8600.
This is the Long-Term Care Minute. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, of the 16 million veterans who served during World War II, less than 558,000 are still alive. To make things worse, many of them now need long-term care. With the average cost of nursing home care approaching $7,000 monthly, we wondered, what should veterans do? For some advice on this, we called on long-term care expert and best-selling author Don Quante. So Don, what should our veterans do?
Well, quite simply, we recommend our veterans get a free copy of my book, Tax-Free Money for Long-Term Care, where they will learn about a little-known veterans benefit that may allow them to receive up to $26,000 a year tax-free to pay for long-term care. Give me a call right now. The next 30 listeners will get a free copy of my book.
That sounds great, Don. Just call 800-256-1607. That's 800-256-1607. This has been the Long-Term Care Minute.
The Randy Tobler Show.
Hey guys, this Saturday we'll talk about the fraud that is democratic socialism. Americans staying up at night thinking about politics, and suicide rates soaring while the economy takes off.
Randy Tobler, Saturday mornings
on FM News Talk 97.1.
Marc Cox. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Love.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
Bound by wild desire.
Mr. Brennan has gone way over the line in my view, and I think restricting his clearance, pulling his clearance makes sense to me.
Lindsey Graham there talking about the John Brennan case and why he thinks that that was a good decision, right? And I don't know. I would have to. I'd be forced to agree with him. I think. I'm sure that'll surprise you. But I think that was a good decision. You know, the other thing Graham did is he has sent a letter to Chris Wray, the FBI director, And he asked for a simple explanation of Department of Justice policy. So a report came out that 5 years ago, the FBI informed Senator Dianne Feinstein that a man employed by her office was being investigated of being a spy for the Chinese government. Feinstein took action, and she fired the man. They approached her. They said, we think this is going on. Ends up the guy was a lot more than he wasn't just her driver. He did a lot of things for her staff. He was on her staff like 20 years, right? He was spying for the Chinese the whole time.
Wow.
And here's the thing about it. Graham says, why didn't you afford Donald Trump the same courtesy when there was a counterintelligence investigation going on into two low-level aides to the campaign, right? Carter Page and George Papadopoulos had both been investigated a couple of years prior to the campaign starting for having ties to the Ukraine and potentially Russia. They were being looked at already before the campaign ever started. So why wouldn't they have approached the campaign and said, I just want you to know we're looking at these two for as part of a counterintelligence investigation, at which point I'm pretty sure the campaign would have fired them. Unless your goal was to have an insurance policy that you could come back and use in the outside chance that Donald Trump won.
Mm-hmm.
What? And basically that's what he's saying. Why didn't you do for Trump what you did for Feinstein? It's that simple. What's going on at the FBI? So good for you, Lindsey Graham. You're back on my good list for now.
He's been on the good list a lot more than the bad list lately.
We're giving away a $25 gift card to Rockin' Brews out in Chesterfield. We'll give that to caller number 5. How about that? Dial quickly. 314-421-9797. You get a $25 gift card to Rockin' Brews in Chesterfield. That's the one owned by Gene Simmons of Kiss and Paul Stanley. They're teaming up with Def Leppard, another great rock band, and the Elysian Brewing Company. They've got a new beer called the Def Leppard Pale, and they're running a contest where you can win tickets to go out there. Go to rockandbrews.com for more details on that, and good luck to you winning that $25 gift card. Hey, I need to mention this very quickly. This weekend, there is a benefit going on that's going to support the Green Beret Casualty Fund. It's going on out in Eureka. My friend Greg Brown, the chief out there, tipped me off to this. It's going to be going on at the Eureka Elks Lodge Saturday morning. They're having an opening ceremony about 11. It's going to be going on most of the day. You can stop by, meet Green Berets. People from the 5th Special Forces team are going to be there with weapons and vehicles and equipment that you can check out. They're going to have a raffle, food and drinks. It's the 13th annual time they've done this for the Elks benefit out there at the Elks Lodge in Eureka. So check it out. It's going on tomorrow during the day starting at 11 a.m. So hope you can get out there and help them. And I should mention our salute to service, speaking of veterans. So Air Comfort Surface Heating and Cooling presenting our salute to service to support the 1% of people who join the service and defend our country, right? We're going to explore stories of active military and veterans told by the heroes themselves and the people behind them. So nominate someone. You can nominate yourself or a friend or a family member to receive the 97.1 Salute to Service. Get all the details on our website. We'll make it easy for you. 971talk.com/salute. 971talk.com/salute. That's our salute to service here at the radio station. How about that? All right. 314-241-9797. Coming up, Mark Lotter, former special assistant to the president and a press secretary for the vice president. And when I get time, I'm going to get to your calls because I've been talking a lot about this prosecutor case in St. Louis County. We got a caller on the line who wants to clear up some misinformation, he says, about the possibility of a write-in candidate in that race. We've still got plenty of time to go. Hang on the line, Dan. I'm going to get to your call. 314-241-9797.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Follow Mark on Twitter at MarcCox971. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
I'm Jennifer Kashinka with Your Money Now. In the wake of yet another food poisoning outbreak, Chipotle says it will retrain its restaurant staff nationwide. The news comes as health officials have determined that a type of bacteria found in food left at unsafe temperatures is a cause of an outbreak of gastrointestinal illness that struck 647 people who ate last month at a Chipotle Mexican grill restaurant in Ohio. The bacteria involved is commonly found in beef, poultry, gravies, and dried or pre-cooked foods that are prepared in large quantities and keep warm for a long time before serving. Rates for home loans tumbled this week, even as the housing market's woes threaten to become a headwind for the entire economy. The 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 4.53%, down 6 basis points. Lower rates should help jumpstart housing activity, but there's so little to buy for so long that many would-be buyers are simply giving up, and analysts believe housing will now drag down the overall economy. That's Your Money Now.
My number 2 does not look like a number 2. I don't know what to call it. Is there a number 3?
Table for 4, please. Anything close to the restroom.
A middle seat with these stomach problems? That's my fear of flying.
Sound like you? If it does, you could be one of the many people with a digestive condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Even if you don't know what EPI is, you might know the symptoms. Frequent diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain. If you have even just one of these symptoms, you could still have EPI, because not everybody experiences EPI the same way, which is why it's so important to open up to your doctor about all your symptoms. And the good news is, EPI is manageable, so don't keep a lid on it. Go to identifyepi.com, complete the symptom checker, and use it to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't keep a lid on it. Visit identifyepi.com. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Your Money Matters, brought to you by Fisher Window and Door Store, your dealer for Marvin Windows and Doors in the St. Louis region. FisherWindow.com. Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
A couple of accidents reported, one downtown at Washington Avenue at Tucker and another at Martin Luther King at Union. Other than that, this morning it's volume, and southbound 270 is still stacked up approaching 70 through the construction zone at Dorset. Northbound is slow between Big Bend and the Clayton Road overpass. Southbound 170 looking a lot better at 6440. Eastbound 40 drivers for you. Most of the volume is 170 through Big Bend. Moderate volume westbound from Hampton out through McCausland, and still heavy traffic on the Poplar Street Bridge at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 8:33.
The $1,000 political payoff.
Hey, this hour's keyword is
video.
Text the word
video
to 72881 by the end of the hour for a chance to win a $1,000 political payoff. Did you know, Denise, that video killed the radio star?
Did my singing help you come up with that sentence?
It did. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's video, VIDEO, to 72881. Message and data rates apply. I'm required to say that, just if you wonder why I keep saying that. One national entry is going to be drawn. Listen Monday through Friday, 7 to 7 for more chances to win. Go to 971talk.com/rules for more details.
That's the sound of sleep apnea. Hi, this is Dr. Anna Smith from Dentistry with TLC.
Good night, honey.
That's the sound of a CPAP. About half of the people who are prescribed a CPAP don't like it and don't use it. I have a CPAP alternative for sleep apnea. I can make you an oral appliance so your sleep sounds more like this. I have over 95% success with oral appliances and hundreds of happy patients all over Missouri and Illinois.
My name is Travis. That CPAP sucked. I had Dr. Smith make me a sleep appliance over 5 years ago, and it's my most prized possession. It gives me a restful sleep at night, so I have energy during the day. If your CPAP sucks or if you think you may have sleep apnea, call Dr. Smith at 618-466-9387.
Learn more at cpapsucks.com.
Midwest Clearance Center celebrating 15 years in business. And I'm telling you what, folks, if you're not familiar with Midwest Clearance Center, that means you've been paying too much for 15 years. They're open 7 days a week. They've got 5 great locations that cover the area: Hazelwood, St. Peter's, Fenton. They're down in Columbia, where I'll be this weekend with my kid. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois, locally owned. And they've got a great deal going on right now. You go in, you buy a gift card to support Stray Rescue, and they're going to give you another 10% off. They're already great prices. You can't beat that. They're already giving you 40 to 70% off retail. They've got bedroom suites. They've got living room furniture. They've got kitchen tables. They've got outdoor furniture. It's unbelievable. It's all in one spot. They'll arrange for in-house delivery and set up for you. You can go to their website to find out more, but they've got Ashley Home Store signature items, all the things you would go to specialty stores to get, but you get it here at discount prices, 40 to 70% off. Take advantage of it. They'll help you out. It's locally owned, no high-pressure sales staff there. They're going to take care of you at the Midwest Clearance Center. Visit them online at mwbeds.com.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Watch the Marc Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Marc Cox. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
No, I don't think it was too bad, but I do think...
You agree with what he said?
I think he made a mistake in saying it the way that he said it. But it's not that it's wrong.
Juan Williams is about to get voted off the island there at Fox. Agreeing with Governor Cuomo that America was never great. A slap in the face to anybody that's ever served this country, a slap in the face to the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've given their lives for this country over the years, to suggest that the country that has saved the world many times over was never great because you disagreed with some policy from the past. It's crazy. The greatest thing about America, the great experiment, is that we, unlike so many of these other countries, have corrected our ills over the years, and we continue to be great. And shame on them for saying otherwise. Hey, let me get to Mark Lotter, of course, so we've had him on before, former special assistant to the president, and Vice President Mike Pence, former press secretary. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's a soundbite a day these days, isn't it? If it's not Cuomo, it's somebody else.
It's completely unbelievable, but that's what the Democratic Party is right now. I mean, and Andrew Cuomo is not the only one. Cory Booker said America is savagely wrong. Bernie Sanders said that America is fundamentally immoral and wrong. Elizabeth Warren thinks our law enforcement are racist from back to front. And there was just a poll out earlier this week that said more Democrats favor socialism than capitalism for the first time ever. this is a Democratic Party that has gone so far off the deep end to the left that they don't even recognize and respect America anymore.
The only thing I can mark it up to is our failing educational system, because I look at these people and I think to myself, you're either a student of history or you're not, or you've either read the newspapers or you haven't. You don't find me a place where that system has succeeded like America has succeeded. You can't.
And it's even worse. I mean, let's go to their new superstar, the 28-year-old congressional candidate out of New York. The Democratic Socialist Party of America supports Venezuela. And they were angry that the administration and the prior administration, even that of Barack Obama, had sanctioned Venezuela for their capitalist dive into just financial and fiscal and humanitarian ruin. That's what they support. And that's where the Democrat Party is right now. And it's sad to watch. But, I think people in Middle America and in St. Louis and Indiana, where I'm from, I mean, when you look at that, you're like, how can I support Democrats when this is what their party leaders talk about?
Yeah, that's a great point. I want to play something here that I play this quite often, but it has particular relevance today.
What the hell do you have to lose?
I think back to the campaign when President Trump said that, and he took a lot of heat for saying that. And then Rasmussen rolls out this poll recently that shows that voters think that African Americans' approval of this president is at like 35 or 36% now and growing.
It's nearly double. And I was at campaign rallies where the president said that when we were on the campaign. But what you see is exactly what he said. Historic low unemployment among African Americans, among Hispanics, young people. There's never been a better time if you're a young person to get a job in your lifetime. And while the president often considers this something not quite done yet, even female unemployment, it's only at the lowest point in 65 years. We haven't got the historic low yet, but there's still time to go. But
the American classic.
Sorry about that. Hold on. Go ahead.
But the president asked America to take a chance, and now he's delivering on that. And it's great to see it coming. And because of that, it's left the Democrats just scrambling, trying to find something to try to resonate as a message other than resistance. And now it's apparently socialism.
Right. And that's true. And it kills them when they see daily tracking polls that show him, 48, 49, 50% is the one on Rasmussen. I know there are other polls that have had different numbers, but that's generally speaking, if a president is at 50% roughly of approval during a midterm, the normal midterm washout is not nearly as much as likely, correct?
Well, correct. But the key is now we've got to deliver on that because we can't get complacent. And so for Republicans or for moderates who believe in freedom, who believe in capitalism, who believe in lower taxes and more people working hard for a good paycheck, you can't sit on the sidelines this November. Because if you do, the angry radical left is motivated. They're going to turn out, and we could see losses where we shouldn't be. And that's why it's important that you grab your neighbor, your coworker, your family members, and people down the pew from you at church. Make sure they get out to vote in November, because as we've seen in some of these special elections, just a few votes, a few thousand votes can make the difference, and we've got to make sure we show up.
Well, I've noticed the Democrats have at least for the past couple of weeks have stopped talking about immigration, because I think they've seen the polling that shows that most Americans agree with the president on immigration. And I honestly believe there's been a talking point somewhere that's told them, keep your mouth shut about the southern border, because we don't want to inflame that group of Americans who believe we need to have a wall and increase border security.
You're exactly right. And plus, they're being confronted with their own sound bites from back, 10 years ago and beyond, where they supported things like building a wall and legal immigration over illegal immigration. And now, of course, because President Trump's in office, everything they used to say they no longer believe. And very few people, if anyone in the mainstream media, is going to hold them accountable for it. But we're getting that message out, and people are recalling these things, and they see the hypocrisy of so many of the elected officials from Democrats that say one thing and then years later, just because President Trump's in office, say the exact opposite.
Yeah, very true. Mark Lauder, I appreciate your time, my friend.
Always good to talk to you, Mark.
You bet. Mark Lauder there, former special assistant to the president, at Mark_Lauder on Twitter, LOTTER, if you want to follow him there. Let's get to a quick break. I'll talk more about that tracking poll, but 35 or 36% of African Americans in this Rasmussen poll support what the president's doing. Do you realize what a threat that poses to the Democrat power base? Because a rising tide floats all boats, which is what we've been saying all along. Anyway, we'll get to that and more. 314-241-9797.
.97 News Time, 8:46. It's 76 degrees. I'm Denise Schaefer, and here are a few of the local stories we're following this morning. This report brought to you by Mattress Direct. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is suing the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex. MoDOT officials will close all lanes of I-44 in both directions between Hampton and Vandeventer this weekend to tear down a pedestrian bridge. In sports, the Cardinals lost to the Nationals 5-4 last night. 97.1 News Time, 8:46.
Traffic from the Deck and Patio Living Traffic Center.
Traffic this morning still stacked up, but it's not terrible. It's the heaviest volume we have is for westbound 5564 drivers crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. There's still some volume southbound 270 headed down toward Dorset through the construction zone there. And eastbound 40 drivers, slow-moving traffic 170 through Big Bend, then it opens up. Westbound has all but thinned out as you head toward 170. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 News Time is 8:47.
Hey, great to have Mike from Devil's River Whiskey in here earlier, and I hope you're able to catch that because he gave us a little insight on this booming whiskey and bourbon market right now and all the people that are out there trying to sample the latest and greatest. The folks at Lohr's Wine and Spirits have brought us Devil River Whiskey, also L's Iced Coffee. They brought me a couple bottles of this, and I've shared some with the staff here. It's outstanding. If you like iced coffee, this is the only iced coffee on the market with alcohol. And it's great over a couple of ice cubes in the evening when you're sitting out on the deck or trying to relax. It's just outstanding. Ernie Els, the golfer, is the guy behind all of this, right? So the PGA in town recently, you can continue to enjoy the PGA through Ernie Els' great product. It's fantastic. Smooth. It's delicious. Sweet. It's a nice sweet drink to have after dinner. You can get it at a lot of places in town. Schnucks is carrying it now. Deerberg's, Total Wine and more. Dirt cheap. They're all carrying these. It's only about $10.99 a bottle. So go find a bottle of L's Iced Coffee. Try it now. Please don't drink and drive, but enjoy it and get in the spirit of the PGA. How about that? It's L's Iced Coffee.
Need new brakes? CarX Tire and Auto has lifetime guaranteed brake pads on sale now for half price. That's right, 50% off quality brake pads at CarX, where your brake inspection is always free.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Dear beloved home, you've always been there for us. From our kids playing in the bathtub when they were little, to teaching our son how to shave for the very first time. But now we have 3 teenagers, and it's created quite the traffic jam. Right Bath by Mosby gave us a wide variety of design choices, all in the latest styles to reflect our tastes. Thank you, Right Bath, for helping us bring an end to the daily bathroom wars, and for helping us love our home again for years to come.
Call 909-1820 or visit rightbath.com. Right Bath by Mosby. Home never felt so good.
If you're in debt, get out of debt. If you need cash, get Smart Cash.
Smart Cash is the low-interest equity that's sitting in your home. This is James Hawkins of Golden Oak Lending. In today's climate of low mortgage rates and increased home prices, now's the time to get low-interest money.
We're fast, we're local, and our low rate today is 3.5% fixed.
At Golden Oak Lending, we're not just a mortgage company on the internet. We're here in town, and we give you choices. Debt consolidation to pay credit cards, cash out for purchases, free pre-approval, even a renovation mortgage that gives you money on your home's future value.
Call Golden Oak Lending. If we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. 314-567-GOLD. 567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
15-year fixed, 4.634 APR, 10% equity with approved credit. NMLS 114937, 111 Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. Number one in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. Hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at lincolnpowersports.com.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I think I called him a butthead, and I meant it.
Welcome back. How about the Z-Man killing it here on the music this morning?
Yeah.
Little Van Halen.
That's my new favorite drop, by the way.
Oh, is it? You like that one?
I like that one.
I called him a butthead, and I meant it.
I think I called him a butthead, and I meant it.
Senator John Kennedy out of Louisiana there, talking about John Brennan. I thought that was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny, but I have to say this is, for the time being at least, this is still probably my favorite.
The Trump doctrine is "We're America, bitch."
Yeah, that's good too.
Jake Tapper. That's Jake Tapper. So that mounts up there for me. So I got a bunch of them now. Just fantastic. I love that. Back to my point quickly, and then I want to get to this stuff on the St. Louis County executive race. Listen, I want you to listen to these numbers. The one voting bloc Republicans have never really been able to make much inroad in is the African American voter. For a variety of reasons, we could do a whole show on it. We'll get ARPS in here the next time we do that. But listen to this. In 2008, President Obama, maybe not surprisingly, got 95% of the African American vote. McCain got about 4%. This is according to exit polls. In 2012, President Obama got 93% of the African-American vote. Mitt Romney got about 6%. So 4% for McCain, 6% for Romney. In 2016, this is the final results. This is averaged by Real Clear Politics. The final was Clinton about 88%, Trump about 8%. That's the average. Rasmussen had Trump at 12%. Some of them only had him at 6%. But the average is about 8% of the African-American vote for Donald Trump. And, you heard what the president said about it when he was pitching himself to African-Americans.
What the hell do you have to lose?
So back to my point. There's a poll out today by Rasmussen, and here's what it says. The president's approval rating among African-Americans is at 36%, nearly double what it was this time a year ago. A year ago, on this day, it was 19%. It is a staggeringly high number for a guy who only won roughly 8% of the African-American vote in 2016. And my guess is it strikes fear in the hearts of the Democratic Party because his support among Hispanic Americans is up too. Because they vote, people are going to vote their pocketbooks. There are more jobs than there are candidates right now. You didn't get that under Barry Obama. It didn't happen. So people are starting to see that what he was saying was true. Now, made my point there. Let me get to Dan here. I've been saying that this St. Louis County executive race has gone off the rails because the Republicans didn't run anybody. The Democratic primary, this Wesley Bell upset Bob McCullough. So now there's nobody for Wesley Bell to run against. He's going to be your next St. Louis County executive. A radical, in my opinion, who wants to recraft the prosecutor's office to prosecute based on public opinion and not the facts. That's the situation we're faced with based on what his supporters have called for in his campaign. That's what the concern is. Anyway, Dan says, and I believe that he is right and I am wrong, that it's impossible for Bob McCullough to be a write-in candidate in this race. And Dan, I thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Well, no problem. Maybe people are misinterpreting it. A number of times it sounded like you said that you thought McCullough should try and run as a write-in candidate against Wesley Bell.
Well, I wish that he would or could, but he can't
because there's a Missouri law against it. But you know, the last couple of county executives came from the prosecutor's office, and maybe if you wanted to add some excitement on the county executive race with Stenger under a lot of pressure and potential investigations for crimes, maybe McCullough could run against him as a write-in candidate and create some real excitement in that race.
Yeah, there you go. He could do that. But Missouri law specifically says that a candidate who is not nominated during a primary, that their name is on the ballot, if they lose, they cannot then file a declaration of intent to be a write-in candidate for the same office in the general election.
They can file it. They can't win. So if you go to the Secretary of State's page and look up SOS-MO write-in, it's like the second or third thing.
Right. No, I'm reading it. It says they cannot even file for a declaration of intent to be a write-in. Right. So it's out. It's over with. Yeah. All right, Dan. Thanks for clearing that up.
I'm not suggesting that somebody else shouldn't go as a write-in candidate against Wesley Bell, but it's going to have to be somebody that can garner, prosecutorial, the police, and everybody to get behind him.
Agreed.
Agreed. Can't be Bob McCullough.
Agreed completely. Yeah, thank you. It's called the sore loser law. Although I don't think it's about being a sore loser. It's about being the people's choice. But regardless, you can't do it. Out of luck. Hey, congratulations to Holly from Fenton. She was the winner of our final $25 gift card to Rockin' Brews, and we appreciate her listening. Thank you very much, Holly. Thank you very much. Hey, I think we're out of time. I hear the music playing.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, have a great weekend, folks. The Annie Fry Show up here noon to 3. We'll see you back on Monday morning. Have a good weekend.
When diamond expert Michael Clavenna worked at an ordinary jewelry retailer, he thought he was giving his customers the best value, until he made the switch to Diamonds Direct.
But when I came to Diamonds Direct, I realized how wrong that was. I have so much more ability with this company to offer a bigger diamond at a higher quality for a lower price. It was a big surprise to me because I had been so ingrained with a different culture. I didn't believe it at first. I was very skeptical. So I spent a lot of time just looking at the diamonds that were in my inventory at Diamonds Direct, and I was blown away.
So take it from someone who's seen the difference firsthand. When it comes to diamonds, Diamonds Direct is the value leader.
I can get them bigger diamonds. I can get them more options to view in their price range. Overall, just offer a better value than I have at any other place I've worked. So don't be fooled by the phrase direct diamond importer, because you just can't get any closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Our company was started by former diamond wholesalers.
Diamonds Direct, where St. Louis now gets engaged. Olive and 270 at City Place.
Hey guys, Glover here for Harrys.com. You know my love for Harrys.com. It's genuine. It's been around for a long time. They found me years after I found them. I've been using Harrys.com shaving supplies. Sent it to Nick when he went away to Mizzou 5-6 years ago. Sent it to a couple of my buddies for birthday presents and Father's Day and stuff like that. They absolutely love it. Guaranteed to be what you're looking for. It's about half the price of other shaving supplies. They never trick you into a subscription. If you want a subscription, they're happy to do it, but you're never going to find out that you did it when you didn't mean to. For a limited time only, Harry's has a special offer for DGS listeners. Get $5 off a shave set from Harry's with code DGS at Harrys.com. That means you get a starter set that comes with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use DGS at Harrys.com. Join the millions of guys that have already switched. Harrys.com, DGS.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
The Marc Cox Show, brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor of The Marc Cox Show.
Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox. FM News Talk, 97.1.
A radio.com station.
She finally got through to the reality star in the White House.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Washington's mayor, Democrat Muriel Bowser, just tweeted after the president blamed D.C. politicians for his canceling the big military parade he wanted around Veterans Day. Bowser wrote, "The reality is it cost nearly $22 million. Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
The president explaining the cancellation in a tweet, writing, "The local politicians who run Washington, D.C. poorly know a windfall when they see it." He continued, "When asked to give us a price for holding a great celebratory military parade, they wanted a number so ridiculously high that I canceled it. Instead," the president says, he will attend a parade already scheduled at Andrews Air Force Base on a different date, and also plans to go to a military parade in Paris, celebrating the end of World War I on November 11th. Dave?
John, the first funerals are today in Italy, days after a bridge collapse in Genoa killed at least 38 people. Rescue crews still searching for 10 to 20 others who may be buried in the rubble of cars and trucks that plunged 150 feet to the ground. Paul Manafort's juries just started deliberating a second day at the former Trump campaign chairman's bank fraud and tax evasion trial. The morning after, they asked the judge to define reasonable doubt. They also wanted his help understanding financial terms like
shelf companies and FBAR, short for foreign bank account reports. The judge said the jurors have to rely on their memory to figure those out. This judge also denied a request from the jury for help organizing the exhibits by count because there are 18 counts and thousands of pages of evidence. One of the things the judge chided the Mueller team for throughout the arguments was the amount of evidence that he seemed to suggest was sometimes overkill.
Fox's Peter Ducey of the court in Alexandria, Virginia. A man wanted in a road rage incident in Indiana, arrested in Florida. Brandon Cook, accused of beating another driver, then posting on Facebook he taught the guy a lesson. That man died of a heart attack. And Cook's now charged with involuntary manslaughter. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Wildfires burn millions of acres across the country each year. And each year, wildland firefighters battle to contain them. But they can't do it alone. For some communities, it's not a question of if wildfires strike, but when. And a single ember can travel more than 1 mile. As it twists and turns and floats through the air, that single ember can find its way to where you live and can ignite and destroy your home or your community. That single ember can be just as dangerous as the wildfire itself. You can't control where the ember will land, but you can control what happens when it does. You can take action now to prepare your home and your community for wildfire. Get fire adapted. Learn what you can do now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. Prepare, protect, prevail. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast for today. Clouds, breaks of sun, very warm and humid. There'll be a shower and thunderstorm or two in the area into the early evening hours. Today's high 88. Then partly cloudy, warm and humid overnight, low 72. For tomorrow, times of sun and clouds, a warm, humid day, high 87. For Sunday, clouds and some sun, quite warm and humid, high 88. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
The Annie Fry Show.
Remember Brett Kavanaugh? We're anticipating a confirmation vote soon, so how's that going? We'll get an update Friday. Plus, Tim Jones weighs in on Trump's war on the press.
Annie Fry, weekdays noon to 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
On the streets of Miami, speed is the law. So when a corn dog goes after the wrong girl...
Oh, heartburn!
One man will bring her Tums Ultra Strength. I'm on my way. Don't get wrecked by heartburn. Nothing works faster than Tums.
Your mustard's fast, but my Tums are faster.
And with Tums on-the-go rolls, it's never been easier to leave heartburn behind.
You did it.
Yeah. You gonna finish that corn dog?
Tums Ultra Strength, available in a store near you.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa Legend batteries come with a $15 rebate by mail. Their long-lasting durability stands up to extreme conditions. So even on scorching days, it'll puff its chest out and be all like, "Hey, summer heat, find another car battery to drain." Napa Legend batteries with $15 mail-in rebate. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/18.
Marc Cox here for Granite Transformations, the company that remodeled my kitchen countertops and bathroom countertops. Exciting news. You need to visit their new showroom down in Fenton. It's even more